afternoon, football fans, and welcome to day number 3. My goodness, we are finished with days 1 and 2, and here we are, day number 3 of 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direction for all that is sports. We are keeping it rolling, y'all. We have ourselves a special treat today, as all 4 of our guests are from one awesome podcast network, and I hope every single one of you enjoy these interviews. First things first, we're going to head on over to Indianapolis, the home of the Indy 500 and also the home of those Indianapolis Chiefs, to talk all of, Indianapolis Colts, sorry. As you can see, you guys, the brain has completely gone on vacation with all these interviews I've been doing. But the Indianapolis Colts, we'll be talking with our boy Josh Sr., really cool guy, the co-host of Horseshoe Mob Podcast. Then we are headed straight down south to talk with Briggs of the Texas Fan Battle Podcast. After that, we're heading right back up north from there to talk with Maximus of the Titans Fan Battle Podcast. And then we're heading right back down south to Jacksonville, and our final destination of the day, to talk with Matthew with the Jaguars Fan Battle Podcast. These guys are awesome. They know how to diss each other, but they also know how to be great sports. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a great show. Strap in tight. The AFC South is here. You are now officially tuned in live to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, AFC Week day number 3. Right here on IE Sports Radio, your direction for all that is sports. Welcome, football fans. Well, here we are, day number 3, and as you can see, I'm a little loopy right now. Nearly got all of the entire AFC done. So many interviews, so many teams, so yeah, it's gonna be, it's obvious that I'm gonna mess some things up every now and then, and have a little blooper trail, a little blooper reel and some errors, but ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited for this show here today, because this is the first time we've ever had an entire podcast network aside from ours help us out with this particular series. And long story short, I was reaching out to find, as you know, of course, all 4 fans for the AFC South, and I met this dude named Matthew Briggs. Briggs is a really cool guy, really nice, and this guy knows so much about his Texans. He's like an encyclopedia for the Texans. And him and I did the interview on Sunday night, and afterwards he was like, "Hey man, it was a lot of fun." I was like, "Thank you so much. I appreciate you, for being here and for being on the show." And he just was like, "Hey, if you need anybody else for the AFC South, let me know." Or afterwards he messages me, and I was like, "Dude, I do, as a matter of fact, man, because it's so hard finding a Jaguars fan. I mean, the entire AFC South is really hard to find." And I was super excited when he told me that we're going to get not just him, but 3 more of his colleagues that actually do podcasts in his network, in their network, Fan Battle. So before we even start, I got to give them a huge shout out, because if it wasn't for Matt, man, for Matthew Briggs, that was awesome. He deserves that applause, and just got to give them a huge shout out. These guys are super cool. And Fan Battle is a super cool site. I checked these guys out. They have a lot of really good content. They definitely know how to get at each other. They're very similar to our Primetime Face-Off here on IE Sports Radio. And I love what these guys do. They're fiery about their teams. They're knowledgeable. And that's what you want. You know, you want those diehards. And these guys are, without a doubt, diehard fans. So big shout out to all of them, and just huge thank you to all of them for wanting to be a part of this today. So make sure you guys head on over to fanbattlesports.com. Once again, that's fanbattlesports.com. They got some really cool content, really cool articles to read and stuff. I think there's some articles on there I saw, but I definitely saw the podcast, and they're very talented. So please make sure you head on over, check them out, and give them all a follow as well. They are super cool. Matt Briggs, of course, at A1Day1 Texans. Matthew is at Matthew G Sports. Of course, he's the Jaguars. Josh Sr., really cool guy. He is at Official Josh, and then SR, and then Maximus. He is at Maximus Titan fan. So check all of them out. Check out all their shows. Give them a follow because they definitely deserve it. They helped out this series so much this year, and I really look forward to having them back next year. I hope they'll come back because they're a great group of guys, and boy, do they know how to get after each other. So anyway, we have had ourselves a great series so far. We are halfway through the AFC. We took care of the AFC West on Monday. Once again, big shout out to all those fans. And, of course, all those podcasters of IE Sports Radio. Aaron of Mile High Musings, Cale Henderson of Sin City Sports, Taryn Rodriguez of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, and Bishop of This Is KC Sports. And then yesterday, taking care of the AFC East, big shout out to our boy Mikey Two Guns. Super cool interview he's got right now with Alex Verdugo from the Red Sox. Go check him out at Our Bleepin' City IE, man. Really cool interview. But yeah, he's a great guy. He'll be on later on today, on Wednesday, of course, July 26th. So Mikey, really cool guy. It was great talking Patriots with him. DC Kai, really cool guy, talking Finns, of course, Dolphins with him. Joey Jets, another really cool dude talking about his Jets. And, of course, Patty Bax, our very own Patty Bax of the Buffalo Huddle here on IE Sports Radio. It was great talking Bills with her last night. Yesterday. We recorded that interview on Monday night. But just great stuff all the way around. So these four today, they were recorded all in the last couple of days. And, man, they were just a lot of fun. So once again, big ups and thank you to fanbattlesports.com. Check them out. They are awesome. And before we go any further, though, I do want to make a big shout out to our sponsor. That's right, y'all. Delicious. And I am talking about delicious. All right. A big reason why I even wanted this guy to be a sponsor for us is because of how damn good the jerky is, you guys. Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, delicious. They contain no MSG, no sodium nitrate, low in sugar, and high in protein. What more do you want? Low in sugar and high in protein. Come on now. Where are my lifters at out there? Where are my athletes? This is some of the best jerky you get your hands on. And actually, for a limited time, you can enter to win his raffle right now. He's actually a partner of the Lake Elsinore Storm. So he's got 4 Storm tickets for you if you're in the Lake Elsinore area. Or if you are in the Southern California area and you want to see a really cool single A team. These guys are awesome. Champions from last year. I know we can do it again, but check them out. Lots of players are leaving up to the tin caps to advanced A, but we still got some great players here, and they're still doing great, having a great season. So I'm really excited for both my wife Cecilia and I are very excited for these guys to move on up, and we are just huge fans. So once again, you could win 4 tickets to see those guys play or 4 bags of jerky. Yeah, one of the two, doesn't matter. So all you got to do is head on over to planetjerky.net, place your order, give Planet Jerky a follow at Planet Jerky on Instagram, and then DM him and let them know that you heard this ad, and boom, there it is. You're entered in the raffle, and that's it. You'll be entered, and that drawing will happen on Tuesday, August 1st, so we're under a week now. So make sure to get your your spot in that raffle. And once again, huge shout out to our sponsor, Planet Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. So big ups to him, big ups to Planet Jerky. And of course, make sure to follow us all, you guys. Make sure to follow IE Sports Radio all over the place at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, Instagram, or X, I guess now. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Check out iesportsradio.com. We have our summer sale going on right now all the way until next week. We extended it until August 5th. So for all your IE Sports Radio merch, it's going quick, so make sure you head on over and type in the promo code IESR Summer Sale 23 and 10% off. Yeah, because we all love 10% off, right? So thanks again. We appreciate you all for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports, and we continue to bring the content that we have been bringing and getting better every day, every year for the last 9 years, heading on into year 10, coming up next May, and we're just so excited and thankful for all of you. So, as I always say, big ups to the man above, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. For without him, nothing is possible, and for all of you guys out there, without you guys, IE Sports Radio is not possible. So we thank you for that. Thank you for showing us love. Thank you for being here and helping us out with our content and just making the station what it is and what it's been for the last 9 years. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it. We have ourselves a show to get to. 4 awesome interviews by 4 awesome dudes. Once again, go check them out. FanBattleSports.com. Really, really cool stuff there, and you will not be disappointed. Once again, that is FanBattleSports.com. Go check them out, and without further ado, let's get to the interviews. So, when we return, it'll be my exclusive interview with Josh Sr., Colts fan. He is super excited to talk about those Colts, and hey, you know what? Let's talk about the kind of season they just might have. You were listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. AFC week, day number 3, AFC South day, with me, your boy Larry B, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back talking Colts after this.
Welcome to the 305, aka the Magic City, and this is Magic City Scoreboard. I'm your host, JB, and right here we're going to talk anything Miami. Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat, Miami Hurricanes, Marlins, Panthers, Inter Miami, and even high school football. So join me once a week right here on Magic City Scoreboard on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed to all that is sports.
What's good, everyone? It's Drewski, the host of Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On this station, we cover everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. From where we cover the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Wings, Texas Rangers, TCU, SMU, we cover it all right here every Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you stay live with me on the Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, here we are, day number 3 of 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. AFC week rolls on. We are halfway through AFC week, and well, here we are, landing in the AFC South today. This is going to be a lot of fun. And why is this? Because, as I mentioned in the introduction, we have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. All 4 interviews today are from the same exact podcast network. This is awesome, man. These guys, I love how they have their fan battle set up, and it is just so neat how all 4 of them came together, man. I talked to Briggs, and he was like, man, let's do this. I'll bring everybody aboard, and they are the nicest guys, man. They were like, let's do this. Let's jump on here. So I am so happy and privileged to have all 4 of them because, man, the AFC South, for some reason, is hard to get regional shows for us here on IE Sports Radio. But it's really nice to know that these guys right here, they're supportive. As Josh just told me, we're all doing the same thing, and ain't nothing like supporting each other, man. So that is the truth, and I'm so glad to have him here today. He's going to start us off, actually. He is team number 1 today. We're talking Indianapolis Colts, and it's pretty exciting, man. We are going to have ourselves a nice little talk here about a team that, well, they got some work to do, but how's it going to come together? We're going to see. But ladies and gentlemen, I am so glad to have him here today. He is the co-host of the Horseshoe Mob podcast. He's a part, of course, of the Fan Battle Sports. Check him out on fanbattlesports.com. This man is actually a Lakers fan like me, which is pretty cool. He reps his Reds, and well, above all, he is hashtag for the shoe. Ladies and gentlemen, glad to have him here today. My boy Josh. What's going on, man? How you doing today, brother?
What's good. Like you said, co-host of the Horseshoe Mob. Check us out later today at 9:30 Eastern time, and we got a show to unpack. But yeah, I love the Lakers. Just became a Reds fan as a recent, but I had to diss the old team. I don't want to list the team, but yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, it's all good, man. We got our fandom, and that's what it's all about. So here we go, brother. Last year, man. Okay. I mean, hey, I'm a Raider fan, so I know a thing or two about bottom feeding. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you right now. I know what it's like to be at the bottom all the time. You guys, it's kind of funny. You finished 4-12-1, but you still weren't at the bottom, which is crazy. But those Houston Texans, man.
They always find a way.
Yeah, they do. I don't know what it is, man. Briggs was very optimistic. Of course, you guys will hear him in the second interview today, which, of course, is a part of the Fan Battle podcast they got going on over the Fan Battle Network. It's really, really, really cool that they got going on, but we'll get into all that in a bit. But yeah, y'all, the Colts, man, still, they lost 12 games. Of course, they would get that tie, and they still finished third. So 4-12-1. They finished 1-4-1 in the AFC South. And all right, man. So Josh, I'm going to go ahead and relive the painful season real fast, but I promise I'll make it quick. So we start things off with a tie. Of course,
yes,
the Houston Texans. I mean, 20-20 tie. It was the weirdest game. Okay. I guess that's how we're going to start the season. But all right, we start things off that way. Then you guys get absolutely belted by the Jacksonville Jaguars the next game. After that, again, you guys will actually, and this was the craziest thing. How do you get you tie with the Houston Texans? You get destroyed by the Jaguars, and you go on and beat the Chiefs, who ended up winning the Super Bowl. I
was at that game,
and you were at that game, so. I mean,
I was. And look, this is a funny story. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was at that game against the Chiefs, and I wasn't supposed to go. I was at the game, and here I am calling every kick that was missed by Butler, Butker, and I said, why'd you miss? And he missed. Every time I called, he missed a kick. He missed, and the Chiefs fans that were sitting in front of me, it's like, why don't you shut up? Stop jinxing us. I said, why don't you kick and make a kick then? And I called it because what what happened in that game, anything can go wrong, it went wrong. I mean, from Matt Ryan fumbling the ball, from us going 3 and out over and over and over, and still able to stay in the game. And like you said, eventually win at the end on a interception to seal the game. It was surreal, like you said. But to beat a team that eventually won a Super Bowl after getting tied the first game and getting shut out the second game, this is a weird season.
No, it was, man. It was very weird. You guys beat them 20-17. Then you go on, and it's like, it's like that great game never happened because then y'all lose to the Titans. It was a close one. But go on over, you play another overtime game, defeat Denver. You go on a 2-game win streak, pay Jacksonville back for that beatdown from earlier in the year. Then you lose to the Titans again in a pretty close game. You have a extremely close loss versus the Commanders. Then you go on over to New England, get beat down again. I mean, it's just crazy from a 2-game win streak to a 3-game losing streak. Then you head on over to Vegas. You beat down my team because the Raiders can't beat nobody. So y'all went ahead and took them out. But then, unfortunately, man, and this is the craziest part, you played both Super Bowl teams this year. You beat one, and you barely lost the other to the Eagles, 17-16 in November, which is insane to me because it just goes to show you how this team seems to play to people's levels. I mean, I don't understand, but there it is. You lose to the Steelers, and then just probably one of the most embarrassing games I think I've ever seen, and I felt bad for you guys, man, was that they put up a 50 burger, man, the Cowboys, in December.
Oh, man.
You go into the bye week. It was a tough one, man. But you go into the bye week, you come back out. You had another overtime game because the Colts just love overtime games, apparently. But, yeah, man, y'all lose a close one to the Vikings. Another beatdown from the Chargers.
Well, before you get to that, we was up 33-0 against the Vikings.
Which is crazy. Which is crazy. And I don't even know how I didn't remember that. But yes, that was in it. It's true. This is now, and man, how could I forget that? And why would you want to remember that, Josh? I'm just kidding. But yes, I'm sorry, I forgot. It is no longer the Oilers and the Bills. It is now no one circles the wagons like the Vikings. Because they now own the greatest comeback in NFL history. I think it was just like a point difference, but yeah, they would come back. The game in 92 or 91, whichever that was, no longer is the biggest comeback of all time. It is now December 17th, 2022, where the Vikings were down 33-0 and came back to win this thing in overtime, 39-36. I don't know how that happened, but I mean, the Colts wow. But that was a loss, another one. That's from one disappointment to another, man. You guys got so far 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. Then you just lose the rest of the season. That's it. It's 4, 5, 6, 7 game skid to end the year. And, versus the Chargers, the Giants, and then the Texans at the end. Okay, so I know that was painful. I'm sorry, Josh. You're like, yeah, I'm going to hang up. My apologies, brother. But talk about that whole season, man. I mean, I love how you already brought some snippets into it, and I love that. Give me every raw emotion from last year.
It's like a roller coaster, There's always some highs, and then there's always gonna be some lows. Like I said, the first game, which is we thought that we can get that game because we haven't won a season opener in a very long time. So we thought, okay. We got the Houston Texans. We 4-0 against the Texans in the past 2 seasons. So surely we can get that win. They go out with Davis Mills and pretty much took the game over up until second half, and we made a comeback and go into overtime. Thanks to Levy and his bad coaching, we go to overtime, and our kicker missed an easy kick, and then Lovie Smith again goes down and say, you know what? I don't want to win the game. I want to tie. And that led to a tie. Go to Jacksonville, which we haven't won in 8 years. Go to Jacksonville and get smacked. Smacked from the beginning of the game until all the way to the end of the game, which I get tired of losing in Jacksonville. When is going to end? Like you said, going to the Chiefs. The thing is with the Chiefs, that's those guys in your division, so you understand. It seems like with the Chiefs, we're the only team besides maybe the Titans can beat them. I don't know. We have their number. Like we can have a trash team, but we can find a way to beat the Chiefs at some point. I don't know what it is. What it is. I really don't. I don't get it. But me being in there at that game, I came my horse because, like I said, everybody expected us to lose. Everybody expected us to go 0-3. I said, man, this game they're gonna win. We're gonna go tie one. Oh, we're gonna be one in a tie. No, we're gonna be one tie, tie, and a win. Win, tie, and lose. So it was like, no, y'all gonna be 0-3. Y'all gonna be y'all gonna be winless. Y'all gonna be 1-1 and tie. So I was like, I doubt it. But like you said, here we go with the other games. Games that I thought we would win, we lose. And then here we go to the Patriots. Of course, you understand rivalries. We get blew out by the Patriots. Then we had to fire our head coach, Frank Wright, which it was overdue. Then we did another thing. We did some stupid thing. Irsay decided to hire Jeff Saturday. I'm glad you didn't mention that, but I'll go ahead and mention for you. We hired Jeff Saturday. He prepared us to win one game, and it so happened to be your team, Las Vegas Raiders. And after that, we haven't won another game after that. And that game is crazy because you guys get to see Matt Ryan rush for 30 yards for a first down. And it's like
only the Raiders, brother. Only the Raiders.
Only the Raiders rush for 30 yards for a first down. So I think to seal the game, which was, like I said, was crazy for him. And I think he got benched after that. So him getting benched for Sam Ellinger, and then him getting benched for Nick Foles, back to Matt Ryan, back to Nick Foles, back to Sam Ellinger. It's just been a roller coaster season, which I was happy. I was happy it was over. I didn't even care about the last game. I know people was like, well, we need to lose this game for seeding purposes to get a higher draft pick. I just wanted the season to be over. And you understand that because I feel your pain as well.
Raider fan.
So, yeah, it was embarrassing. Being a Colts fan. And it's been embarrassing for the last couple of seasons. Obviously, you see what happened the year before that with Carson Wentz in our 7-9 season. He did some stupid things. Again, you saw the Raiders game where we could have beat y'all, but he overthrows T.Y. Hilton, where we could have went out to in score position. But yeah, the last couple of seasons has been bad.
It's been rough, man, and I get you. And it's crazy because I remember being back in high school, man. And Peyton Manning was the gold standard. This was back in, what is it, 04, 05, 06, 07. I mean, when you guys would take out Lovie Smith and the Chicago Bears. I mean, it was crazy. You guys would make it back a couple years later, fall to the Saints. I mean, the Colts, you guys, man, y'all had a good piece, man. Y'all really did. I remember seeing Clark and Mathis. I mean, you guys had such great players and such a good team. And yeah, man, I can understand now it might be a little bit hard because you're like, man, it wasn't that long ago we were a really good team. so
oh, man,
I know it's kind of tough, man. But check it out, brother. You guys will finish that up. Let's close the door on that, man. Go on to this season, the off season. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get on into the free agents. If you'd like to, go ahead, man. Drip on into the draft all you want to. Usually we just go free agency in the end of the draft, but if you want to go ahead and bring up the draft immediately, that's completely fine. Along with the free agency because it goes together with the offseason. So in the offseason, man, you guys, well, in free agency that is, Stephon Gilmore, he's headed over to the Cowboys. You guys got Matt Pryor, he's headed on over to the Niners. However, Samson Ibaka.
Yes.
This guy is a beast. He's going to head on over now to the Colts. You guys would, once again, because a lot of moving pieces here, man. Rodney McLeod, he's going to be heading on over to the Browns. Ben Bangu. I mean, all these different players moving around here, there, here, there. Brashad Perryman, I think, is huge from the Buccaneers over to the Colts. I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces here. However, once again, man, this is your show, not my show. So tell us all, man, who are your biggest pickups and your biggest departures for the Colts in this offseason?
The biggest pickup would be the edge rusher, and we replaced him with we were not replacing with he was replaced from Unique Gakwe, which I love. I love that pickup. We traded you guys for Yasin, and we didn't keep him. I thought we would keep him. He had like 8 to 10 sacks last year, but his weakness is stopping the run. He's not a good edge setter, so we brought in Ibukum from the Niners, which he's pretty good at rushing the quarterback and stopping the run. You don't see the numbers and sack numbers because he's a rotational guy, but it was a good pickup to go with Kwity Paye, Dio, Buckner, and Grover Stewart on the front. So it was a good pickup. And you said what you said the other one?
What was that? Well, I mean, there was a lot, man. I mean, you guys picked up. My goodness. Let me see here. Who did I just mention? I really like the pickup, man. Gennard Avery as well was a big one for me. I know Paris Campbell is heading on over to the Giants. You guys had him for a while. Brashad Perryman.
We lost a lot.
What was that?
I said we lost a lot. The pickups
was
minimum size. You know as well as I know. The Colts don't, dab at free agency like other teams. We get guys, rotational guys that are 1-year deals and stuff like that. Brashad just, a veteran guy that we need. He hasn't been really healthy a lot. But, it's a decent pickup for the receiving course. Like you said, and Gennard Avery, veteran pass rusher. Not bad, won't move the sticks for us. But departures, I mean, the worst one would be Gillilock. He was really good for. I know he was 33 years old. That was what I did. I didn't want to lose Stephon Gilmore. I did not want to lose, but we got a 5th round pick, and we used that pick to get Darius Rush from South Carolina. So I think we did well with that pick. Losing a veteran guy on your cornerback. It's not good. It's not easy to replace, especially a guy that's all pro, defensive player of the year. It's just tough to lose, but I think we're getting younger at that position. It's time to mold the new guys that we picked up during the draft.
No, of
course, I was happy to get rid of Matt Ryan. That's first and foremost. I know he's not retired officially, but he will be an analyst this year until he's picked up by another team.
Which is crazy. I mean, he's towards the end of his career. He knows it, but he's just trying to throw the ball around as much as he can. It's respectable. But yeah, that's right, man. And I know I totally forgot about this. I know I mentioned it in the very beginning, but I guess, didn't want to elaborate too much. But yeah, man, Gilly, that was rough, man. When you lose somebody of that, caliber, man, it is really tough. But yeah, man, we can just go ahead and run right into the draft because this ties in so well, man. I mean, like I mentioned, you guys did pick up Gardner Minshew. And okay, well, was he the guy? Was he? Well, let's see here because with the 4th overall pick, y'all would select Anthony Richardson. And I'll tell you right now,
yes,
man, this dude is as advertised. A lot of cats would say he has a wild arm. A lot of cats would say he's just a running back that snaps the ball. I've heard all kinds of stuff about him, but my biggest thing with Richardson is the fact that he is so damn hungry to win football games. I mean, we haven't seen that type of dude behind center in Florida since Tim Tebow, man. Like this dude wants to win everything, man. Like you put this dude in a rock paper scissors game, man. He's gonna be overly competitive. Like I love his drive, man. Like it shows on the field. Like he hates losing, man. I mean, of course, who does? But he has an extra emphasis on hating losing, and I love what he brings, man. So he is one hell of an athlete, and honestly, he's somebody who I believe can be a day one starter as long as he is just polished and shows everybody that, yes, this is my position. So, I mean, anyway, so not to go too far into that, but great pickup there. Julius Brents, man, second round, man. This dude out of Kansas State, people passed on this cat, man, but you guys will pick him up in that second round. Third round, you had Josh Downs, wide receiver out of North Carolina. I know you guys got rid of Campbell. There was a couple wide receiver departures, but this dude right here could step right up, man. He is a baller. Complete baller, man. Blake Freeland, you got a big boy tackle out of BYU. This next dude, I always screw his name up every time I try to say it, so I'm just gonna say AA, but his last name is Adebayor, I believe. I want to butcher his name.
Yeah, Northwestern.
Out of Northwestern. This dude is a monster. So, I mean, you guys got a lot of talent. I know there's a couple more players there on the board, but by all means, man, you go ahead and get on into the draft as deep as you want to, man. Let us know who you think could be an immediate impact. Let us know who you think can, help out in other ways. And, of course, let us know what you thought about the Colts draft overall.
All right. I mean, start with the first pick, Thanks to the Texans. They helped us get that fourth pick. So thank you. Shout out to the Texans. Thank you, Matt. Getting a guy that's, raw talent, with the highest ceiling. You saw what he did at the combine. He knocked it out of the park. He did. Everybody saw it. Like I said, he only had 13 games in college, but he still wanted to win. It didn't stop his will to wanting to win. He didn't win a lot of games. He didn't start a lot of games, but I'm intrigued by him coming to Indy and being coached by one of the younger coaches in the league, and Shane Steichen. So it's going to be intriguing. This year and the years to come is going to be very intriguing to see what he does. Julius Brents, that's a hometown kid. A lot of people didn't know he's from the Indianapolis area. So him come back home, being drafted by a home team, and able to, potentially start for the hometown team and go against, some good receivers in the division. Like you said, Josh Downs, coming from the ACC. I wouldn't say a top dog in ACC because you got Zay Flowers, you got the other ones, but he's a baller. Like you said, he had 11 touchdowns last season. And I think maybe 1,100 receiving yards. I won't get into details on that. And Blake Freeland, I like that pickup, tackle. They can play left or right tackle. So, and left tackle has been an issue since we lost Anthony Costanzo. So that's needed. The tackle from Northwestern, I don't know much about him, but looking at his tape, he had decent film to look at, and he's going to be promising. I don't know if he starts over Rover Stewart, but we'll see. I like the Darius Rush from South Carolina, good cornerback, much like Julius Brents. We got Daniel Scott, who's out for the year towards ACL. Will Mallory, I think he's probably one of the best tight ends in the combine. He's a big body tight end. We have a lot of those. So I question that pick, but us losing Jack Doyle because we need a blocking tight end. I understand why they drafted Will Mallory. Evan Hull, I don't know why they got him. Running back because we got enough. We got Zach Moss. We got Dion. And we got, of course, you got the bell cow and Jonathan Taylor. The other guys, Titus Leo and Jalen Jones and Jack Witt, those guys are depth guys. Jalen Jones has the opportunity to get into starting lineup with us losing. Got Isaiah Rodgers for the year, and possibly he got cut, but losing for a year for gambling. He has the opportunity to get in the starting lineup.
I'll tell you right now, the depth this team has created now, of course, I mean, that's unfortunate, but, the depth that this team created, the moves that you guys made, the guy now behind quarterback, the guy behind center. Look, man, I like what you guys did. There's so much reason to believe that the Colts are not going to be nowhere near where they were last year, and it just... of course, that needs to be seen. They need to do it on the field first. But man, this team looks like, okay, hey, we had to right the ship. Last year was crazy. You guys had so much chaos, but this year, man, There's a lot, So let's go ahead and jump on into this season, Josh. There's so much to get into with this, man. This is it looks like a man. So of course you guys are playing the teams you love to hate in the AFC South 2 times apiece. Gotta love those 6 games. But on top of that, if I'm not mistaken, I see the AFC North in here. And I also see, let's see, who else? It looks like the NFC South, if I'm not mistaken. So the AFC North and the NFC South, and a few outlier teams in there as well. But what do you think, man? Give me your honest expectations, however you want to talk about it. Tell us all about how you feel that these Colts are going to do this year.
If I give you my honest take and not being a homer or trolling or anything like that, I don't see much from the team. I do see, I've been saying for months, I do see a fight in this team, which will carry over to the next season, 2024 season. I don't see us winning a whole lot of games. I got our ceiling, possibly 8 to 9 wins, and our low 6 wins. But like I said, I see us being close in some games. We might get a game here and there. We might get blew out because we're a young team and have a young quarterback. I'm not saying Gardner Minshew can't win us games because he does have experience in the league, starting in Jacksonville and starting some games in Philly. But when will our 4th overall pick starts? We don't know that. He could start week 1. He could start week 10. I saw an article saying that he could start week 10, possibly. We don't know that. But it's going to be intriguing to see him on that field running the RPOs, especially with Jonathan Taylor, who is, people try to say he's holding out, but he's currently at camp getting ready for the season because he's still on the contract. So it's going to be intriguing to have young guys in there with young receivers, having the quarterback with the highest ceiling in the draft. For him to get all those wrinkles out, getting all the bad plays out, all the interceptions, all the fumbles, all the misreads, everything. It's going to be intriguing. Like I said, I don't see us going, to a Super Bowl. I don't see us winning the AFC South, but I do see us being competitive, and that's how you want to see going to a new season. With, like I said, you got a rookie quarterback, rookie head coach, you got overall young team who decided to get younger this year. So we're going to see that. We're going to see some hiccups in this upcoming season.
I could see that. I mean, I love it. You were as real as it gets. I see this team being better. That's a step in the right direction. They're better. They're going to be better than they were last year, and I like that, man. Hey, 6 games, that's the lowest for you. Okay, that's still better than last year. 9 games, that's a lot better than last year, but that's the ceiling. I mean, it's the right direction, and that's much better than last season for sure. So yeah, man. So all right, Josh, this has been fun, man. We have reached the end. However, there's one more thing here that we got to take care of. And yes. Now that you're a part of, now that I know that all of you are a part of Fan Battle, I think y'all know a little thing about this. So this is going to be fun, man. So this is a little segment we like to call Stick It To 'Em. And, well, Josh, I'm pretty sure it's not the first time you've stuck it to these guys that are on this show here today. But, Josh, here we go, man. There are 3 other teams that you love to hate, and they love to hate your team right on back. It is rivalry. Yes. We love it. It's fun. But, oh, my goodness, there's 3 other teams here. The Jaguars, which won it last year, but barely. The Texans, who just can't get right, like life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence can't get right. I mean, I mean, they just, for some reason, man, but this year they look a little bit better, just like you guys. Of course, you got them Titans in there that they can't get right either, man. They get to the playoffs and they fall apart in the last couple of years. I mean, it's just, this division is so crazy. It was wide open for a while. Now it's kind of shifted a little bit, but let us know, man. You tell us how you think those other 3 teams are going to do this year. You just did it for your Colts, so you tell me how you think those other 3 teams are going to do this year. And hey, trust me, don't get too crazy, but have some fun with it, man. Trash talk. Tell us how you really feel about those other 3 teams. Without further ado, Josh, stick it to them.
Am I able to cuss?
Oh yeah, go ahead. You're fine.
Well, I want to first and foremost, fuck all those teams except the Colts. If you're not the Colts, I don't give a shit about you. But I do see Jacksonville who's more established. They have been building their team for the past 3 seasons with Trevor Lawrence as their head guy quarterback. They got a new head coach going into the second season, and Doug Peterson. I think my belief is they'll win the division again. Things could change. Tennessee could win, but Tennessee have to have a new offense. With Tim Kelly running the show, and they just added DeAndre Hopkins. Screw him. But I want them to lose the way they did the Texans by stealing their uniforms and wearing it after they unveiled it yesterday. I hope they lose every game that I have on their schedule and get swept by everybody in the division. That's how I feel about them.
Damn.
And recently, the Texas fans have been having a lot of shit to say about the Colts when they don't own shit in Indy. Like Indy can play at home and play in Houston and still beat the brakes off of them. I'm not sure if you knew this or not, but Indy holds a record, head-to-head record against the Texans. 31-10 and a tie. They have no position to talk about us, how bad we look, when they just been beneath us since their realignment. So I wish they'd just be quiet and just deal with having a suck quarterback from Ohio State. Because every Ohio State quarterback that comes to the league, he's going to be ass. That's how I feel. Jacksonville, it was never the Jags up until they got a bunch of rats infested in their stadium. And they need to get a hold of that first before they talk about running anything in the AFC South. So that's me sticking it to them.
There's the applause button, man. It has been hit. Josh, oh my gosh, man. Yeah, that's how you stick it to him, man. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you right now, brother, you done went off. And that right there is that's how you do it, man. Hey, I'll tell you right now, this division, I love it. I love the rivalries. I love how heated everything gets, and you didn't hold back, man. And that's what I'm talking about. Josh, this has been so much fun, brother. Now we've gotten to the point to where, of course, segment's over, but you, man, you do a lot. You got a podcast going on. You're part of a really good team. You got a lot of good stuff going on, but the floor is yours again. Go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you personally, where they can find your show, the website, anything else you do, man. Plug the hell out of it.
All right. For everybody, all Colts fans, or even just fans in general of the NFL, you can find me on Official John Senior on Twitter. You can find the podcast page on Facebook and on Twitter at _mob. And we streaming live tonight at 9:30 Eastern Time. Check us out. We got a show to unpack about these Colts. You can check out the website at fanbattlesports.com, where we write articles about the Colts. You see other articles of the other teams in the division that don't matter. What else? You can find us on YouTube at _mob.
Great stuff as always, man. Please go check them out, y'all. This man right here knows his team. This was a sample. This is all this show was. It was a sample of the good stuff you're going to get up over there, man. Josh, Senior, you're a great dude, man. I'm so happy you were a part of the show today here, and it'll be airing, of course. This interview was recorded yesterday, so Tuesday the 25th. The show, of course, airing on Wednesday the 26th, so should be a really, 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 really fun show, man. We're going to have the rest of Fan Battle up on here as well with the Texans. We got coming up next, we got Briggs with the Texans. After that, we got Maximus with the Titans. And after that, we got Matthew with the good old Jaguars, man. So we got a lot to talk about in this show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Josh, thanks again, man, for giving time for
thanks for having me.
Man, you were great. You were great. Man, you set the tone for the whole show, man. Wow.
I had more. You had 30 more minutes. I had more to unpack.
I wish we could, brother. But hey, man, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you so much for being here. Thanks again, and we look forward to having you back on the show very soon.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, take care, man. Thanks again. All right, you guys. That was Josh Senior, man. Really cool dude. He loves his Colts, and that's what it's about. So, all right, you guys, that is gonna do it for the first team here today. And well, when we come back, we are talking about them Houston Texans with our boy Briggs, man, also from Fan Battle. It's Fan Battle Day here on IE Sports Radio, so day number 3, if you will, here on 3 and Out. So, oh man, I've recorded so many interviews. They've been so much fun. But anyway, guys, that will do it for this segment. When we come back, we are talking Texans right here on 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, AFC week, day number 3 with the AFC South. With me, your boy Larry B, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back talking Texans after this.
Well, what is up, Carolina Nation? This is John Felipe of the Carolina Cast, of course, the podcast of, by, and for the Carolinas, right here on IE Sports, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I'm reminding you to tune in Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern for the latest in Carolina sports, whether it's the Panthers that keep on pounding, the fly natures of the Hornets, the storming Hurricanes, the battle of the Blues with Duke and UNC, the fight of the Clemson Tigers, or the amazing atmosphere of any Carolina college. I'm talking App State, I'm talking ECU. I've got you covered. Once again, tune in for the Carolina Cast with me, John Felipe, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, here we are, day number 3 of 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. It is AFC week. My goodness, we've had ourselves a great week so far, as we covered both the AFC West, the AFC East, and today is the AFC South. We just finished up talking Colts football, and well, we are now headed south to talk about them Houston Texans. This is certainly going to be a fun interview because it's my first time talking to this guy right here. I'll tell you right now, he is awesome. Total Texans fan through and through, and I know this guy's going to tell it how it is, and I can't wait to hear the firepower he's got for the rest of the division in a little bit. He owns a really cool podcast, by the way, really neat network, and trust me, we're going to blow it up. We want to make sure all of you guys go check it out, because if it's what I think it is, which is very similar to our primetime face-off, I'm positive this is going to be an amazing show. Regardless, I know it's awesome. Great dude, and at the end of the day, that's what we love, to cross-promote. He's a passionate guy, I'm a passionate guy, and why not? We all love our sports. That's who we are. By the fans, for the fans, and yeah, I'm excited to get this one going. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, to help me talk about these Houston Texans, he is the host of the Texans Fan Battle podcast, and this man helps run the entire operation. I believe he's right at the top. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming hardcore Texans fan, once again, host of the Texans Fan Battle Podcast, Briggs. What's going on, Briggs? How you doing tonight, brother?
What it do? Thank you for having me on. Couldn't be happier. Representing not just the Texans, but everything Houston.
Oh man, I'm loving it. I'm telling you, I'm loving it. This is it is a great sports culture down there in Houston, and
it's a wonderful culture. Period. Like everybody can just say the arguments for your mama because it's Houston versus everybody. So
I love it.
It's Houston till I die.
I love it, man. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I love the passion. I'm telling you, the passion of you guys down there in Houston, man. It is something great. And once again, I'm glad you can bring that here to our show here today. So, all right, Briggs. Unfortunately, we gotta start with something that you're probably gonna be like, "Come on, man!" But I know we're gonna just kind of roll through last season. I'm gonna go.
We all started from somewhere, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I get it.
we're gonna roll through this really, really fast. Okay, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3 kind of quick. All right, so okay, let's get this out of the way. The Texans finished at 3-13-1. All right, they finished at 3-2-1 in the AFC South, and hey, it is what it is. They tied. I know they tied versus the Colts in game 1 last year. Kind of crazy. Week 1, they would drop 3 in a row: Denver, Chicago, Chargers. Then they would win a game versus the Jaguars. All right, there we go. Get a bye week. They would smack my stupid Raiders around silly. As a Raider fan, I'd love to laugh at my team because of how horrible the organization is. So you guys would slap us silly on the road. Then, I'm sorry. No, actually, you guys would lose that game. I don't know how you lost that game, but you did. You happened to lose to the Raiders, which is... I know.
Trust me, I get it.
That's hard. So I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought it was a win. I guess I'm a Raider fan, so I automatically think every game is a loss. I'm sorry.
Right,
sorry about that, Riggs.
Right.
So you actually lost to the Raiders. That's saying a lot, unfortunately. And then there was a big giant losing streak. I mean, let's just get through it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in overtime to the Chiefs, which was an amazing game. You get a victory over the Titans. You take a loss to the Jaguars, and then finally you end off the season, which I know you guys were waiting for that. As a Raider fan, I usually wait for the end of the season pretty much too, like this. But you get a nice victory over the Colts, and 32-31 on the road. Okay, we get it. It was a hard season, but there's lots of promise, I'm sure, coming forward. Briggs, walk us through last season, man, how you felt, every raw emotion.
Oh, man, it's... Week 1, it seemed like we were out of the canyon. We finally got the son watch the monkey off our back. Just all the negativity around him. So it seemed like a fresh new start. And like you said, man, it was a tie, but everybody was doubting us that it was going to be a beatdown. So to tie it and make it close, make it a game, it was exciting. We thought we were going to be better than what our record was, but I love me some Lovie Smith, but he was not the coach that we needed, and neither was Pep Hamilton. His play calling was horrendous. Never, ever again do I want to see that man in Houston, only if he's passing by and eating some barbecue. That's the only time. But I'm just now looking forward to the future, just to build off of last season. So it was rough watching it, but like I said earlier, we all had to start somewhere, and I think this is the turning point for the Texans.
You know what? I love it. The positive. See, once again, it's the positivity. I love what you guys got. It's awesome. So I'll tell you right now, this is it was a crap season. It is what it is. We all have them. But you know what, man? There's lots of reason to believe that this team is really turning the corner right now. So it all starts with the offseason. And let's take a quick look here at some of your biggest departures and some of your biggest pickups. I mean, Brandon Cooks, I don't know if you consider that a loss or, a good thing. I don't know. But he's headed on over. Of course, there was that trade. He headed on over to the Cowboys. He's heading upstate. However, gaining Robert Woods was pretty cool. You also get Shaquille Griffin, which is kind of neat. So, I'm sorry, Shaquille Griffin, is headed to the Texans. And Dalton Schultz, a guy who I actually really like, is heading over there. Jimmy Ward. I mean, there is a lot of talent heading over to the Texans right now, and I love what she got going. Also, Denzel Perryman, a guy, as I said earlier, I'm a Raider fan, so guess what? He's headed on over to the Texans as well, hopefully to play for a better team. So, I mean, there's a lot of departures, I can continue on. Chris Moore, Driscoll, I know he was just a backup, but Dorsett, of course, heading on over to the Raiders. However, talk about it, Briggs. Let us know, man. Give us, the floor is yours. Talk all about your biggest pickups, the biggest departures. What do you think about that offseason? And then we'll get into the draft.
The biggest departure, I mean, you probably have to say it was Brandon Cooks. And just because of the drama between him and GM Nick Caserio, he wanted to be traded last year after the president of operations, Jack Easterby, got fired. They were really close. He wasn't happy the way it went down. And there was a trade set up last year, actually, with the Cowboys before the trade deadline. It didn't go through, so he was kind of mad about it. It brewed into this season, and so we got him off before the draft, which was great. So it hurts to see him leave, but like you said, we got Robert Woods from Tennessee. He's had a pretty good career, decent. The only problem last year was he played behind a horrible offensive line of Tennessee and a carousel of quarterbacks. So he didn't get to shine like he wanted to, and so people kind of hate the pickup. But I can see if the offensive line is right and C.J. Stroud is somewhat close to where he was in college, I think he will shine this season. But yes, Dalton Schultz couldn't get any better. Red zone freak, especially in the playoffs. I think he burnt San Francisco for 3-4 touchdowns in that game.
Yeah.
So I would take that's what a rookie quarterback needs, is somebody who he can easily target, especially in the red zone. Dalton Schultz is the man. I actually wanted y'all's backup tight end. I can't ever pronounce his name, the one who was diagnosed with leukemia. But he went to New Orleans, so best of luck to him there. But the biggest acquisition I'm proud of is the trade for Shaq Mason. The dude was probably one of the best guards in the NFL last couple of years. We got him and extended him for another 4 years. So we're building that line to protect our rookie quarterback. So that makes me super proud. It's not a carousel of different linemen like it's been in the past. So my key thing is to protect my rookie quarterback, and that's what they're doing. So I'm so grateful for that. And like you said, we got Perryman, who I hope takes over the Mike role and help us with our tackling situation. And Jimmy Ward, man, I'm so happy. Him and Petrie, I think, are going to hold down the most dirtiest duo in the safety position in the NFL. DeAndre Hopkins did go to Tennessee. Well, what a lot of people don't know is DeAndre Hopkins have only caught 2 balls against Jimmy Ward for a total of 6 yards. So hopefully he can keep it up and keep DeAndre off the stat line.
Man, I love it. See, once again, just tons of info. I think that was a great, and you talk about, of course, Foster Moreau, I believe, right, who went over to the Saints.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, man. Just last I heard, he was in full remission, thank God. So that's pretty awesome. Yes. But yeah, I guess what a great offseason for you guys, man. You picked up some great pieces. Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry, lady. I don't mean to cut you off, but I forgot to mention the biggest acquisition was getting the head coach that every team in the NFL wanted. And that was D'Amico Ryans. That couldn't happen any better. Bringing back the cap to Houston was the best thing anybody in the Texans organization has ever done.
I just hit the applause button for you right now in the background, man. I yes, you hit it on the head. Silly me. I didn't even bring that up. Yes, D'Amico Ryans. I think you guys have this, ladies and gentlemen. This Texans team right now is not anything near what we saw last year on the field, and that's what I love is that you took an offseason and just completely did something so different. I mean, this team has a lot of pieces now to work with. Of course, great head coach. There's a lot of things to be excited for if you're a Texans fan right now, especially transitioning now over on into the draft. You guys, look, I don't care what anybody says. We understand, we get it. NFC week is next week, ladies and gentlemen out there, but yeah, the Eagles are really, really scary right now, especially with the D-line they have at the moment. It reminds me a lot of when you guys had J.J. Watt and Merciless, and yeah, you guys had a scary, with everything, with Clowney. I get it, though. Things happen, blah. But you guys, the Eagles definitely had a good draft. I do believe they had one of the better drafts, but it's hard for me to say that the Texans didn't win the draft because, my goodness, man, you guys... It was big, you guys really had a good night. And to pick up in round number one, number two overall, CJ Stroud. You get a dude who he's here. He's ready for it. He's battle tested. He's one of the best quarterbacks I've seen in a while on the draft. I mean, the guy looks like he's ready to go. I love what he can bring to a team. He looks great. Then you turn around, very next pick, and what do? Will Anderson Jr. This guy's a freak of nature coming off the edge from Alabama. I mean, this guy he's what you want. He's everything you would want in a defensive end. He's gonna be a complete psycho, plays with his hair on fire. I love it. So, and then of course you guys went on second round, Juice Scruggs. A center out of Penn State, cool, get some depth in there. Nathaniel Dell, a wide receiver out of Houston. I mean, who knows? I mean, I think that these guys could compete for sure for positions. But at the end of the day, they continue on. You guys got some later draft picks, but I'm going to leave all that to you, Briggs. So go ahead, man. Talk about all these picks. Take it all the way back to the first round. Go ahead and let us know, man. How do you feel that your Texans did this year in the draft?
Well, man, I appreciate the love from you saying we won the draft. I can't go as far as say we won it, but we did kill it. I mean, A- for sure. We got the guys that we needed. We caused a lot of excitement too, and we kind of like a draft day part 2 if they want to make a sequel to the movie.
So true.
CJ Stroud, the most accurate quarterback in college history. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. But the last time the most accurate quarterback went to a Mike Shanahan type offense his rookie year was Robert Griffin III, and you've seen what happened. Hopefully he can be to that level, but I'll just take for competing right now as long as he can learn. And of course, you said Will Anderson. We need a good edge for this D'Amico Ryans defense to work. I hope he's the Fred Warner type, or if not, the Ken Claw type linebacker, so that way we can feed that defense. And then, of course, we did trade up to Juice Scruggs, which a lot of people were shaking their head because there was a lot of good centers still left on the board. But this is why I am impressed with D'Amico Ryans and Nick Caserio. They did not draft for the best player available. They drafted for the best player for their scheme. And if you ever watch our show, I always say scheming fixes everything. Juice Scruggs is the best pass protector in college last year. That's what you want out of your starting center. So that's who they got. Nathaniel Dell, again, best for the scheme because to me, he's a type of Deebo Samuel to me. He's a Swiss Army knife. You can put him in the backfield. You can do reverses. The options for this man is limitless. And also, well, a lot of people don't know, C.J. Stroud told D'Amico Ryans and Nick Cassera that's the guy he wants. He wants to play with Tank Dell. So they went and got their star quarterback, who they wanted. So congratulations for them. We got Dylan Horton at TCU, another guy who fits the scheme, a good guy who makes tackles, fills the gaps, so the other side can cause pressure. Will Anderson, whoever they decide to put over, Jonathan Grenard, kind of a Bud Dupree type, where he takes a lot of the double teams and presses off for those guys to eat. So that hopefully that goes well, and that's the guy we think he will be. And in later rounds, we got if he's listening, I hope he don't hate me. But Henry to Toto.
Very hard to pronounce.
Yes. Hopefully another Mike, a linebacker, something we need in the middle linebacker position. He does lack in coverage, but that's what D'Amico's there for, right? To help teach. So hopefully he can grow. We got Jake Patterson, Brandon Hill, and Xavier Hutchinson in the late rounds. Great depth, I think, especially Xavier Hutchinson. I don't know why he fell so hard, but in the 6th round, I'm glad we got him. Me and the guys think he's probably going to be fighting for the number 2 spot in that wide receiver corp. He's very underrated in our eyes, so hopefully he takes that road quickly. But another thing a lot of people are missing, out of all those draft picks, only 2 players were not team captains. So that tells a lot. They want leaders, and that's what D'Amico and Nick is building this team as leaders, as leadership to lead this team to a new direction. And I think that's the first step.
My goodness, man. I'm so glad I ran to you today on Twitter because I couldn't have picked a better person. Yes. Yeah, you hit it on the head so well. Yes, and Henry Tuo, I believe. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but once again, you guys scored, man, and that's what you want. My goodness, I played football for so many years, and it's just, it's so true, man. Like, I'm sure, you former player as well, or, athlete in some way, but you know how it goes, Briggs. When you got, it's a mental game, and if you got somebody in the locker room that just has that kind of leadership, that kind of positivity, that kind of good, nothing's gonna touch you, because if you really do feel that your team has your back the way that they should, man, there's no game you can't win, so I love that leader, that type of player.
What a lot of people don't understand about D'Amico Ryans is his nickname is Captain. They gave his rookie year, he had veterans calling this man captain because of his leadership. So if this man knows anything about leadership, it's D'Amico Ryans. So that him picking those men tells me a lot. So I'm really excited for it.
Nah, it really does, and I'm excited for you guys, man. So last but not least, but not last but not least, we got 2 more segments to go. But man, Briggs, this is huge, man. We're talking about this season. We just had we transitioned from a very ugly, nasty season last year. We talked about a beautiful off season, and now we're gonna get into this season. And you know what? Hey, I know some people may expect the presto, let's do this and be a Lombardi type team. I get it, but realistically, this team has they are going to be much better than they were last year. And looking at the schedule, okay, so, and of course, this isn't something where you got to pick the record or whatever. I mean, if you can, if you want to, you can. But taking a look at this record or the schedule right now, you see, my goodness. So of course you got the good old AFC South. Those teams that you guys just love to hate. It looks like, if I'm not mistaken, this year, looks like you guys might just have the who are you guys playing this year? You guys have the
AFC North
the AFC
and the
North.
AFC South. Yes, sir.
AFC South.
The NFC South.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, yeah. I see the Carolina Panthers in there, Atlanta. Yep. So okay. So look, we see who we got. I mean, there is some competition in here for sure. There are some solid, well-built teams in here. But at the end of the day, this isn't. I don't know. I don't see this being the toughest schedule in there. Regardless, I mean, look, I know there's some games in here. Rodgers, how is he going to look with them Jets? How solid are they going to be? We know that every AFC South game is going to be a battle no matter what. We know the NFC South, well, what can they do? What's Bryce going to look like with the Panthers? Tampa Bay, are they still Tampa Bay? You know, I mean, we look at some of these teams. Atlanta, what have they done? How are they going to, you know, I mean, I get it. I don't want to overlook teams at all. But what I am saying is that with this new team the Texans have, I really do feel they can compete with plenty of these teams on the schedule. So go ahead, man. Go ahead, Briggs. Talk to us, man. How do you really feel about this year? What do you think they're going to do?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. The AFC South and NFC South right now is battling to who sucks the most out of the divisions. So that helps us, right? I think we stand a real good chance for any team in the AFC South and the NFC South. The test is going to be, like you said, the other games, the AFC North. I mean, they're all with the Ravens, Steelers, the Browns, and the Bengals. I mean, they're all great teams. Of course, we hate the Browns for one person in particular, so we hope they fell. But there's a chance, right? There's any given Sunday, but I think we have the element of surprise and the schedule strength on our side, as you tell. It's very, very easy for us. So if we're going to sneak one in, this is the chance to do it. Like I said, scheming fixes everything. And last year we were in most of the – I think we were only in 2 blowouts last year. Every other game we lost by under a touchdown. So if we can fix the scheme and get a better quarterback, which we did, I think we're going to do a lot better. I'm going to say it's going to be 6 to 7 wins, maybe a division win, just maybe, but for sure 6 to 7 wins. And then after the next year, that's when you're going to have to realize the Texans are here for real.
And you know what? I love that. It's a good, realistic outlook. This team really does have so much promise. The gelling period has to happen. It's. I mean, hey, if this team just turns around and starts, smacking everybody around, then awesome. But I mean, that period does have to take place, and I just really, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see this team play, man. I want to see this team on the field.
It can't get here any faster.
Yeah, it really can't. It is looking great. I mean, training camp, there's so many questions that everyone's just asking, like, all right, man, how is this team going to look? And we get to see it coming soon. So they're putting it together right now. We're so excited just as fans to see it. And, man, it's going to be a lot of fun watching these guys in the field this year. So without further ado, man, last but not least, this is a segment that is so much fun because everyone approaches this so differently. But that's what makes it so dang fun. Briggs, this is a little segment at the end of this interview that we like to call Stick It To 'Em. And it's exactly as what you think it would be. There are 3 other teams in this division that you love to hate. The Jaguars, the Titans, and those good old Colts way up north, okay? There are those 3 teams that you battle twice every year, home and away. And, well, your podcast says battle in it, so I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure, you told me before we got on air, you talk smack against all these different teams, and well, I'm pretty sure you can lay one of the best Stick It To 'Em segments of this year throughout this whole series, 3 and out, 8 divisions in 8 days. Let us know what you think those other 3 teams are going to do this year. Records, whatever you want to do, let us know. Once again, good and respectful, nasty and ugly, somewhere in the middle, however you want to do it. Tell us how you think those 3 teams are going to do this year. And, don't get too crazy, but let us know kind of how you really feel about those teams. So, without further ado, Briggs, stick it to 'em.
Yeah, man. If y'all love our stuff for the Texans Fan Battle Podcast, make sure to check out the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast. It's the same type. We love to trash talk. This is what we do. We are the best of the best. And yeah, I see the Titans being the worst team in the division. I do not trust the offensive line, nor do I trust the Mayo drinking quarterback Will Levis or Ryan Tannehill. The Colts are like the Texans in a rebuild, but building something pretty terrible I do not want to face. I think in years to come, it's going to be the Texans and the Colts. Anthony Richardson and Shane Steichen scare me tremendously. Do not sleep on them. And the Jags, man, it is the Jags. I will believe it when I see it. This is the year to prove it to me. This is where you play the top of the top, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Bills. This is where you are tested to see where you are at. So this is where you got to show me, like the good old Jerry Maguire movie, show me the money, what you're going to do. So, yeah, this is the year. And, guys, also, if you check out the AFC South Fan Battle podcast, make sure you tell our host, who's a diehard Jags fan, she loves some Jalen Ramsey. So make sure you drop a little comment when you watch the show.
I love it. Let's have that applause button, man. Great stuff, Briggs. Man, I love it. You got the fire, man. You bring it with you. Once again, the passion just flows through you, man. And I'm just so glad that you were able to spare some time to be on this show here today. So go ahead, man. Give every plug in the world. Please let all of these diehard Texans fans know where to find you. Also, where to find your podcast, where it is, platforms, websites, times, days. Go completely in depth. I don't care if you take 10 minutes. Do your thing, man. Let everybody know where they can hear this show because I'm excited to see it myself.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure. We definitely need to do this more. You can find me, myself, and I at the A1 Day One Texans everywhere on social media. And you can find the podcast at Texans Fan Battle Podcast everywhere on social media. You can find it every major platform where you listen to podcasts. To hit that subscribe button. And on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And also, you can find the AFC South Fan Battle one I just talked about on Sunday nights, where we just talk trash to each other at 9:30 Eastern. So make sure you check that out. And if I didn't drop the date for the Texans, it's Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So check that one out. And guys, as Larry has said, and I said, I run my own network. It's called the Fan Battle Sports Network. Make sure you follow us. We have some great shows. And if you're interested in stuff that like me and Larry do, and you want to start your own, hit us up. We'll help you out, and we'll create some magic because that's what we love to do is creating magic and getting people's opinions out there because, hey, man, some of them need to be heard.
Once again, I know I've been saying this the whole dang show, but Briggs, I'm so glad I got you to be on the show, man, because you hit it on the head. Yes, anybody, please, we're friendly. I mean, this is something you're passionate about. My goodness. I mean, don't hold back. Have fun. Enjoy it. Do it because you love it, and I am so willing to help out. So, yes, Briggs, I'm glad you were here tonight, man. You're a great dude, great character. Just wonderful overall having you on tonight's show, and you certainly had every bit of fandom that we searched for. So I look forward to checking out the shows, checking out your network. From one CEO to the other of a network, man. I am honored once again to have you on here. Thanks for giving all of your knowledge to us tonight about your Texans, and all the best to you guys this coming season. Thanks again for everything, Briggs. We appreciate you, and we definitely will have you back on the show very soon.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you too, sir. Thank you. All right, you guys. That was Briggs, man. What a great dude. Let's give him the applause button. Great guy right there. Well, that is going to do it for the Houston Texans, man. We're 2 teams in right now. So we finished up with the Colts, finished up with the Texans, and coming up, we are talking Titans. Oh, yeah, that's right. You better be ready. How are they going to be looking this year? How does everyone feel they're going to be looking? And how does our guests feel they're going to be looking? Oh, we're going to have some fun with this segment coming up. You're listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, AFC Week, day number 3, talking AFC South. When we come back, we are talking Titans after this.
IE Sports Radio fans, it's your boy, the SoCal Saint, the host of the premier professional wrestling podcast online today, the IE Elite Wrestling Show. If you're a fan and have a passion for the world of professional wrestling, this is the show for you. I take you inside the ropes with all the athleticism, high-flying, and hard-hitting action, and then we take it backstage with all the backstage drama and backstabbing that goes on in the world of professional wrestling today. If something's going on in the world of professional wrestling, rest assured, the SoCal Saint knows what's going on, and he's going to let you know too. If you're a fan, check us out every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, only on IE Sports Radio. The IE Elite Wrestling Show, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling, on the only network that is your direct feed for all that is sports. Check us out.
Hello, sports fans. It's me, your boy Larry B, and I want to walk you through the world of sports. No, not just the mainstream major TV deal type sports, although those are important too. But let me be your guide through your journey of all sports, from college to the pros, the minors, and everything in between. Each week, we are talking sports galore with true diehards just like you from a hardcore fan's perspective that's sure to quench your thirst around leagues you may know all too well and some you may even discover here. That's right, sports fans. If you love sports of all kinds, enjoy hearing amazing sports stories, and respect all sports because you know how difficult any of them can be to play or compete in, then this is your show. Join me, your boy Larry B, on the defining moment each week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, and let the sports come to you. Welcome back, football fans. Well, here we are, just finishing up with Briggs, man. What a great guy there, man. And just big ups to him. One more applause for Briggs. He is awesome. He brought along all of these cats, man. Every single one of these guys. I love it. They got something awesome going, man. Fan battle, man. These guys are super, super cool. So many great shows, so much battling, and very, very similar to our primetime face-off here on IE Sports Radio, and just a huge fan of what they do already. These guys are super cool, and I love what they got going on. So, big ups to Briggs, of course, for bringing the rest of them on. But yeah, we already spoke to Josh earlier today, talking about his Colts. We just finished up talking to Briggs, talking about his Texans, and well, here we are now in the third interview of the day, talking about them Tennessee Titans. And to help me out talk about those Tennessee Titans, we have, of course, another, as I mentioned, from Fan Battle. He is, of course, diehard Titans fan. He has a super cool YouTube channel, of course. And, well, I can only give him a proper introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the host of Titans Fan Battle. Texans Titans. I always get the two T's, man. But he is the host of Titans Fan Battle. Check him out on YouTube. And he is of fanbattlesports.com. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming Maximus. What's going on today, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, you're very, very welcome, and thanks again for being here. Definitely you'll have a lot of time to talk about your show and all the great things you guys do over there at Fan Battle. But thanks again for everything, for all of you guys, for just being here today. awesome network. And once again, I can't appreciate you guys enough. So, Maximus, here we go, man. Your Titans, I'm sorry. Look, I'm a Raider fan, so I bash them every chance I get. That's all.
Hey, I went to the Raiders game last year, and that was...
I mean... that Raiders team, man, I'm telling you, they're about as annoying as it gets. But you guys, hey, at least got the victory. But you guys annoy me though, and there's a reason why. Not because you beat the Raiders, because anybody can beat the Raiders. But you guys, man, it's the truth. But you guys are so irritating. I love Vrabel. I love him. I was a huge fan of him in high school, wanting to go to college and play just like Mike Vrabel. And he's there. He does an amazing job as head coach. You guys have a great team, and for some reason, you just can't get out of your own way, man. I don't get it. First round and done. It always sucks because I'm always picking you guys to go pretty far in the playoffs, but it's frustrating, man. So I can imagine you as a fan. It's been a couple rough years, but regardless, this team is still pretty potent, still a lot of talent, and could this be the year you guys make a deep playoff run? So let's go ahead and start off talking about last season. Unfortunately, you would get it stripped away from you, finishing second in the AFC South, finishing with a 7-10 record, 3-3 overall in the AFC South. And well, let's go ahead and just recap it here. So starting things off with 2 losses in a row to the Giants and the Buffalo Bills. That was pretty tough. Of course, we didn't know that the Giants were going to be that good last year, and we also didn't know that much about the Buffalo Bills. We knew they were going to be good, but man, they were, pretty dang good to end off the season. But first victory of the year, we started a 5-game win streak, was over my beloved Raiders, which, like I said, that was, probably not the hardest victory, but nice victory there for you guys. Then it would go on to a Colts victory, a Commanders victory, head on into the bye week with 3 under your belt, and then boom, come back out, defeat the Colts again, then knock off the Houston Texans, and boom, here we go. You get into a dogfight with the Kansas City Chiefs, and it was a great game. You guys go into overtime. Unfortunately, lose that game 20-17, but it's all good because you went on to win 2 more over the Broncos and the Packers, and then it just kind of fell apart. The last victory of the season was over those Packers on Thursday Night Football back on November 17th, and it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in a row. You guys, a 7-game skid to the Bengals, the Eagles, the Jaguars, the Chargers, the Texans, the Cowboys, and the Jaguars yet again. I know it was kind of painful and probably annoying having to recap all that, but Maximus, give it to us, man. Every raw emotion from last year. How was it as a Titans fan?
Well, man, to be honest, we started the season off in angry mode for me automatically because we shouldn't have lost that Giants game. It was just terribly called. Our offensive coordinator, thank God we moved on from him. But, yeah, that was just a bad call at the end of the game that lost the game for us. And, yeah, like I said, the Bills, were the Bills. And then we went on that winning streak. Everything was going great. Then Tannehill, got hurt. And yeah, then the losing started, and we never got back to what we were. I mean, it just seemed to steamroll. The second year, I don't want to play the injury card, but second year, being injured like that, it tore us up, man. And, having to start Malik Willis, I think that also we weren't expecting that. So that threw us off, I think. And then, trying to scramble for another quarterback, find him on the spot. Thank God Dobbs was available and made us somewhat, at least somewhat competitive in that Jaguars game. But, it's very painful.
It was. I can imagine, and I can hear the frustration in your voice. It's annoying because you guys started out so dang good, but yeah, unfortunately, just a really tough go to finish, especially to finish off the season. But hey, that's over with. It's gone forever. Let's lock it away, close the door on that season for good, and go on into this off season. I mean, there is a lot to be excited for. with this offseason you guys had. It wasn't the most eventful, but hey, there were some big pickups. I mean, just kind of putting this out there, the elephant in the room, DeAndre Hopkins signing to you guys from the Cardinals, However, Bud Dupree will make his way on over to the Falcons. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, and also Robert Woods on over to the Texans. That's, something. Austin Hooper heading over to my Raiders, and hopefully to make them a little better, because we need everything we can get. I mean, seriously, pulling fans out of the stands would make the Raiders better. But anyway, so regardless, Arden Key, however, he was a Raider a while back, and he was with the Jags. Now he's head on over to the Titans. I think Azeez Al-Shaair is a beast, man. So I mean, he's heading over to the Titans from the Niners. I guess a lot of pickups, man. Andre Dillard from the Eagles is heading on over to the Titans, and Daniel Brunskill, another beast from the 49ers, right guard, heading over to the Titans. So there is a lot. I won't talk about them all. This is your floor, so talk about your biggest pickups and your biggest departures of the offseason for your Titans, and then right after that, we'll get into the draft.
Yeah, okay, so the biggest pickups, obviously you name most of them, but I think the biggest, obviously besides DeAndre Hopkins, I mean, that is the pickup of the offseason. But besides him, obviously, I think Azeez Al-Shaair. I'm still not sure how to say his name. I'm terrible with name pronunciation. But him and Arden Key, I think, are going to be excellent on defense. Arden Key, he played as a rotational guy, had a pretty good year in Jacksonville as a rotational guy. You put him and Rashad Weaver, on the rotation on the other side again, with Harold Landry on the other side, and then I think that produces a pretty good number of sacks there. But anyway, the offensive line is the other big, huge thing that I was super happy about. The loss of Robert Woods, you spoke of that, and there was one more player you mentioned that we lost.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few. I mean, let me see if I can go back. There was a lot of them. Bud Dupree, as we mentioned already, Woods.
Yeah,
talked about. But yeah, there was a couple more. But
the biggest to me, the biggest departure from the offseason was Nate Davis. But we replaced him, I think, with a better guard, so I'm okay with that.
It's true. Nate Davis heading over to the Cardinals. He is a damn good guard. But it's true. I think you guys fulfilled that, and there's a lot. There is a lot of moving pieces here. Like I said, not the most eventful, but still pretty eventful. Regardless, pretty solid wide receiver, man. You're adding to the mix here with. I mean, hey, some consider him the best receiver in the NFL, and the guy proves it. So, pretty good pickup there. And let's see what you guys do.
Yeah, I'm really, 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 really excited about DeAndre Hopkins. I don't, if anybody that watches my show, knew I predicted it pretty much from the moment he was in. They said something about him being in New England, and they said he was still in contact with the Titans. When that news broke, I started saying it's a lock. Put it on your calendars. D-hop to the Titans. It's going to happen, and we're going to have an actual contending season. And it happened. So yay.
Yay, that's for dang sure, man. You guys won the D-Hop sweepstakes, and that is a great thing. I mean, once again, he can make mediocre quarterbacks look good. I mean, the guy is, he is a gift, and very gifted athlete. And seriously, I think you guys have you have a very good offense. Tannehill back there. I mean, the offense is solid. You add him now, you guys are pretty dang solid. You guys are pretty good. So I like what he adds.
Yeah, I was going to say him, Henry, on the field together, it makes, and I mean, you throw in Traylon Burks and Chig Okonkwo and, a couple of these other guys, it gives Tannehill a lot of options, and it makes defenses have to think a little bit harder about who they're going to, guard up on.
No, that's for sure. And you guys have a very solid core, and it's just a lot to build on. So let's move on into that draft, man, because I think it was, I'll tell you, I like it, because the biggest part about this draft is once again, I've been saying this a couple of times already to a couple of people who've already been on this past year, and I like what the Titans did. You got what you needed. There were some pickups that I feel that were exactly just what the doctor ordered. I mean, Tannehill, some people can say, he's middle of the road. Some say he sucks, something awful. Some say he's actually much better than, what he should be. And others say he's actually a really good quarterback. You just don't see it. So, I mean, it's just crazy how many different ways you can go with a quarterback like Tannehill. But regardless, I'll tell you what, you give him just a couple seconds, he's going to find his receivers. And, well, I love the fact that you guys go out and address. I mean, what a way for this to happen. You didn't go out and get the so-called sexy pick or whatever, but you go and get Peter Skoronski, absolute mountain of a man out of Northwestern. He's a beast, and he is needed. Because, once again, you give even a mediocre quarterback a few seconds, he's going to find a receiver. And you get somebody like D-Hop now in the open. I mean, that was your pick right there. You guys scored. You went out and got D-Hop, and now you already have a monster. I think you have a pretty good offensive line out there. Skoronski was a great pickup. Will Levis, man. Will Levis, quarterback out of Kentucky. Hey, might as well add some depth. The Tannehill's the man. No one wants to be stuck in that situation like the 49ers last year where they were down to McCaffrey, in the NFC Championship game. So, good depth. Will Levis is a very solid player, and I feel like, let him learn. Let him get better. This could be your future, depending, on how well he plays, how well he adapts. I mean, he's going to learn. He's going to sit behind Tannehill, at least he might. So I just felt like right now that was great. So just going on, Tajay Spears, running back out of Tulane. I got to see this guy firsthand. I'm a USC Trojan guy, and unfortunately they, smacked around my Trojans in bowl season last past year. But this guy is a monster. He never stops his feet. He is a very good player. So, I mean, honestly, there were some more picks here, some later round guys. If you want to go into them, you can. But, tell us, Maximus, how about this draft? What did you think about the pickups, and who do you think is going to make an immediate impact? And tell us all about the draft.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, man. I was actually doing a reaction video when the draft happened, and my gut reaction was that the draft was bad. But as a football coach myself and an analyzer of football, I went back and analyzed the draft and what we needed. What exact? I started to see his plan. You know what I mean? And Skoronski was an obvious need. But then, next you would think wide receiver. But instead of going out and getting that wide receiver that they would have been reaching for, looking back on it, they get people that, like they get that Levis pick, which was a great value pick. Tajay Spears, which is a huge underrated player. Like you said, if you watch his college tape, he is amazing. He is. I'm really excited to see him, especially with Tim Kelly and the way he gadgets players around. And I'm a little hyped about that, to be honest. Plus, you get Josh Wiley. I'm hoping he can kind of take the Austin Hooper spot. So that's where I see him at. You pair him with Chigakonkwo, and that's just one more person to throw the ball to, especially in the end zone, because of how tall he is and how much reach he has. The later round guys, you don't really get me excited until the last guy, Colton Dowell. I am so excited about this kid out of UT Martin. And the only reason is because I'm a huge, I'm a Titans guy, this, but I actually live right outside of Knoxville. So I am right in UT country. Okay. But I'm a Georgia fan. So, but I root for the UT unless they play Georgia. But every now and then they get embarrassed. And sometimes it's funny to me. It's never funny to them, but sometimes it's funny to me because, I'm like, not only did y'all get, like when the Appalachia State thing happened, it was like y'all paid them that much money and they come up here and beat y'all. That's hilarious. But UT Martin played them last season, and this kid, I remember watching the game, and this kid just kept smoking their defensive backs. And I was like, dude, who is this kid? And then he making these contested catches. And I think he went off for like 112 or 117 yards and a touchdown or two. I can't remember the exact numbers, but he played a very well game, especially for UT Martin against UT. And I remember thinking to myself, well, this kid's not going to stay at UT Martin too long. And then he got drafted by us. And then when I was looking at the draft as I'm analyzing it, I'm like, oh my God, that's the kid from UT Martin that I was watching. That's amazing, and then I got all hyped about him. So I'm really excited about him, but I think that's my Homer Titan self, just because I'm such a big Titans fan. I think that's what that is. I just want him to succeed rather than I think he really will succeed. But other than that, I think we just aced the draft, man. I don't know. Rand Carthon has killed this offseason for me. He is A+ GM of the year for me.
I can see why you would say that. And honestly, I love that. I love how you're so excited for Colton Dowell because, yeah, man, because why not? Small school guy, UT Martin. Hey, man, that right there, that's a small school with a lot of talent that more people see. And you know what? I like this, and I love when NFL teams take that shot. They don't go after, especially in the later rounds, there may be some guys from the bigger schools still left, but let's take a chance on one of these smaller schools. And you know what? A guy like Colton Dowell, he's actually very solid, and who knows, man, he may be a practice teamer, who knows what he's going to be, but if he gets his chance out there on that field, man, he may never look back. And I like that. I like that a lot, that, he's given the opportunity, he's going to be out there, and it'll be really great to see him out there be that's the next story possibly, of that guy that was picked later that turns out to be what should have been a first round, right? You know what I mean? That would be cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Can I throw a crazy stat at you?
Go on ahead. I love it.
All right. Lately in the last couple of years, RAS scores have become kind of a thing, especially with analytics in football. His RAS score is a 9.78, and that's out of like 40,000 receivers since the early 90s or the late 80s or something like that, since they've been keeping track of it. But a 9.78 out of
That's
10.
Incredible. That's incredible.
His athleticism is off the charts. So, yeah, I really hope, if nothing else, he can become a special teams guy or something.
That is awesome, man. Well, that's a really cool stat there. And you know what? This dude he's going to be as advertised, I think. Honestly, he proved himself at that level. I mean, come on, man. You're an AFC South guy. And I'm pretty sure you remember a guy by the name of Cecil Shorts.
Oh, yeah.
Cecil played for Division III Mount Union. Yeah. It doesn't matter where you come from. I mean, it's what you can do. So, yeah, man, I like that. I didn't even know you guys picked him up. I didn't even think about it. But that's really cool, man. Colton Dowd didn't know anything about him. But, I sitting here looking and everything, it seems he's 6'3", 225 pounds, a big guy. I mean, I love these stories, and it'd be great to see a story like him, man. I mean, Ali Marpet blocked for Tom Brady. He played for Hobart Division III. You gotta love these stories. So this guy's an FCS guy, right? Yeah, UT Martin's FCS. So, super cool to see this, and I love that this team took a chance, your Titans took a chance on a guy that's homegrown right there. So, really, really, really cool. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump on over to this season, Maximus, because I'll tell you, this looks like a fun schedule. As I've been saying all day long to your colleagues here, we got, of course, playing the AFC South. The Jaguars, they proved last year that, they look a little better. You guys got, of course, the Texans. I always mixing around the two T's. The Texans that just have there's reason to believe. We just heard Briggs saying DeMeco Ryans going to make everything better, and this team is definitely going to be much better than they were. Well, let's see it. Let's see what they can do. I think they're going to be better than last year, but how will they, let's see it. Josh over here saying that his Colts are, he was realistic, saying that they're not going to be the best team out there and maybe bottom feeders, but they're going to be much better than they were last year, or at least a little bit better. And I could see that too. So, then there's you guys, so that is, the AFC South. That's going to be your 6 games this year. You got, if I'm not mistaken here, it's the AFC North you guys will be taking on. So the Browns, okay,
Yep.
Well, let's see what's going on there. The Bengals, of course, we know that they're AFC. They were in the AFC Championship, so pretty solid football team. The Steelers, well, we could, I don't know how that's going to go. Regardless, we'll see how their growing pains are right now. But we take a look at the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, of course, and a very stout defense. And then I see you guys taking on, it looks like, the NFC South. So, Derek Carr now over there, and in New Orleans. Let's see how that goes. And Atlanta, how are they looking at the moment? What will they look like this year? The Carolina Panthers, they got Bryce Young now, so you're going to face a young rookie that's, who knows what he's going to possess right now in the NFL. And then going forward, we also got Tampa Buccaneers, who are coming off of a bowl a couple years ago. They've kind of bogged down a little bit, but still got a lot of good pieces. So, and then the couple outlier teams. But when you look at the schedule, Maximus, tell me, what do you think this Tennessee Titans team is capable of this season?
The ceiling? My ceiling for them is like 12 to 14 wins.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, I could see that. And yeah, I mean, what do you think? I mean, overall, realistically, I mean, you feel that this team could make a pretty strong playoff run? Do you think that they can reclaim the South? I mean, what do you think overall, like with the ending in sight for this, or at least, what you think?
I'm gonna be real as a Titans fan, and then as a non-Titans fan. As a non-Titans fan, I was really worried before D-Hop. I was worried that not only were we going to have not a great season, but we were going to, again, not win the AFC South unless the Jaguars, do what the Jaguars kind of historically do and have bad seasons after they have good seasons. Just saying. However, the Houston Texans, I think, are the dark horses of the AFC South. I think that I think Matt's actually onto something. D'Amico Ryans reminds me a lot of Mike Vrabel. I see a lot of similarities there. They're actually running their organization. It looks like they have some good talent. CJ Stroud, I mean, they've got some pieces there that are a little intimidating, if I'm being honest. The only thing that doesn't intimidate me much is their defense in the secondary. But the Colts, I'm not worried about at all. Just because, they're the Colts. But they probably will be just a smidge better than they were last season just because of Anthony Richardson. I figure he's going to win them at least 2 more games. But after D-Hop, now that we have D-Hop, I look at our team much differently. I don't know if you remember 2019, 2020 Titans. When we had Corey Davis, Jonnu Smith, and A.J. Brown.
I sure do.
But that's what this team reminds me of. I see Treylon Burks putting up Corey Davis numbers pretty easily. I see D-Hop putting up A.J. Brown's numbers pretty easily. And I see Chigakonkwo's already outperformed Jonnu Smith in every season he played for the Titans in his rookie season. So I obviously expect him to be as good, So I think we're looking at a team very similar. And I think the offensive line is what's going to determine whether our team is the 2020s. Because 19, I think, we were 28th offensive line. But it improved in 2020 to 15th, although we were much better at run blocking than we were pass blocking, because that was, obviously the big year. But so, yeah, honestly, I have a bright outlook on this season. I think we're going to be competitors in the AFC South. The only teams that really, really concern me on our schedule, obviously, is the Cincinnati Bengals, because we can't seem to win against them. And Baltimore, we seem to go back and forth with them. I think Atlanta's going to be the most boring game in the world because both teams are going to be trying to run down each other's throats. But other than that, I don't really see a game that's like, oh my gosh, maybe Miami. Miami's a little scary. They might have a decent season. I don't know with the whole Tyreek Hill thing. I don't know, but we'll have to see, I guess.
Well, I think you said it tried and true. That's good stuff right there. I think you really, have a very realistic view on this team, and let's see what they do this year. So, okay, Maximus, we have reached the end, but not quite finished just yet. This is such a fun segment here at the end. And I'll tell you, your colleagues earlier, man, Josh just set the tone. I think Briggs answered the call, and well, now it's your turn. And after this, of course, we're going to hear what Matthew has to say with his Jaguars as well. But apparently at Fan Battle, you tear each other down, and I love it because there's lots of camaraderie between you guys. But at the same exact time, you love to can't stand each other, and I think it's awesome. So with that said, man, we love a good rivalry. You just told me all about your Titans and how you think they're going to do this year. Now, go ahead and tell me how you think those other three teams are going to do this year. Be as truthful as you possibly can, and which I'm pretty sure you will. I'm positive for that. And, of course, please don't hold back, man. Tell us a little bit how you really feel about these teams. Don't get too crazy. But, of course, let us know how you really feel about those other three teams in your division. So, without further ado, Maximus, stick it to him.
All right, so I'm going to go worst to first. And that's how I like to do things. I like to save my dessert for last. The Colts, anybody who knows me knows I hate the Colts. I'm actually was born in Indianapolis, but I was raised in Tennessee. So I'm a Southern at heart, but, my family still lives up there. So all my cousins are Indy fans. Obviously, I told you I'm in UT country, so a lot of people around here root for the Colts, which drives me nuts because of the Peyton Manning thing, and he's been gone for 10 years or so I just don't get it. But I hate the Colts. I really do. I hate them so bad. I'm so happy that since Andrew Luck has left, they have had no luck, and literally no luck. And I just think that it continues this year. I think there may be a 5-win team at best, maybe 6. That's pushing it, though. And then we'll move on to the one that I think will surprise everybody is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Just because, again, I'm a prove it guy. I work on history and what people have shown me in their past. And what I've seen from the Jaguars in the past is they can't handle a first-place schedule. And, I think they kind of lucked out last season. I'm not going to say that, but, I guess I just did. So there you go. And then the Houston Texans. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people this year. Even though I hate the Houston Texans, I think honestly they're probably the team that is most like us in the past and now. And now they're a little bit more modern than we are. But anyway, point is, I think Houston's going to be a surprising team. I hate to say that. Oh God, I hate to say that. Matt, BT, what are you guys doing to me? Anyway, I still think the Titans win the division. Obviously, if I say I think we're going to have a 10-11 win game season, realistically, then I think that's a division winner, especially in our division, because our division is kind of the sinkhole of the AFC. Well, I don't know about that. North is pretty messed up right now. Anyway, so that is my roundup of the AFC South. Obviously, I hate the Colts. They're crap. Jacksonville, until you prove it to me, you're still the same screw-ups every year. You stub your own toes. And Houston, I think you're going to surprise people, but you're still only going to win about 6 or 7 games, maybe 8. And then the Titans are just going to rule again, and we'll be back on the pedestal where we belong.
Where's that applause button, man? It has been hit. Maximus, thanks again, man. Awesome stuff there. Really cool segment. And I'm telling you guys, man, Fan Battle, I love it. I love what you guys got going on. And it's a great segue. Go ahead, Maximus. Tell everybody where they can find you, if you'd like, on social media, where they can find your show, of course, a little bit about Fan Battle and whatever you want to add, man. The floor is yours.
Yeah, man. Well, I host a podcast, Titans Fan Battle Podcast. It's brought to you by Fan Battle Sports Network. You can find us on fanbattlesportsnetwork.com. You can find my podcast at Titans Fan Battle Podcast on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And you can find me personally, Maximus_Titan_fan on just about everything. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. I'm everywhere, man.
Well, that is great to hear. Please go give this man a follow. He deserves every bit of it. Go check out his show. Go check out fanbattlesports.com. These guys are awesome, and I really love what you guys got going on over there, man. Thanks again for everything and for being on the show today. And we look forward to having you back very soon, man. Thanks a lot.
Hey, not a problem, man. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Hey, you're very welcome, and I appreciate you as well, man. Definitely a lot of fun. And like I said, we'll have you back for sure this season. I can't wait.
Sounds great. All right.
Take care, Maximus.
You too, buddy.
Thank you, sir. All right, everybody. That was Maximus, man. What a cool guy. That was a lot of fun. These fan battle dudes are awesome, and well, we got room for one more of them. We got one more coming up after this break. We just finished off with the Titans there, and we're gonna continue it on talking about them Jacksonville Jaguars to finish off the show with Matthew. So it has been a great show, tons of fun. And, well, we're going to keep it rolling here. You are listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, AFC week, day number 3. Of course, day number 3 of the entire 8 divisions in 8 days as well. We are talking AFC South with one more team to wrap it up, the Jacksonville Jaguars, coming up after the break. And, well, man, it's been a fun show, and I hope all of you have had a great time listening to it. So, anyway, guys, that's it. Coming up next, Duval, right after this.
Hey yo, what's up? It's your man Bishop, the voice of This Is KC Sports, the show where we go over the Chiefs, the Royals, KC Current, Sporting KC, MU, and oh yeah, if we got time, we'll even throw in some of that KU stuff for my people on the 913 South. Come and hang out with us every Sunday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What up, Boston sports fans? This is Mikey Two Guns here, your host of Our Bleepin' City, airing every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Please join me. We'll talk everything Boston sports, all the local teams, college teams. I'm even down to talk MMA, boxing, whatever you guys want. So join me every Wednesday night, 7 to 8 p.m. Chime in with your questions on the chat, tweet the show. We'll even have call-ins. I can't wait to hear from you guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. So once again, it's Our Bleepin' City. I am your host, Mikey Two Guns, every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. See you soon, people.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, here we are, final team of AFC South day. It has been so much fun talking to these guys all day long. Once again, big shout out, man, to fanbattle.com. These guys are amazing. Their shows are super cool. And yeah, they're very similar to our primetime face-off here. And I love what they do. These guys are awesome. What a way to come together to help us out here when I just can't ever seem to find people for the AFC South. Guess what? They are a podcast network that is like centered around the AFC South, and I love it. We have talked to Josh earlier today. That was great. We talked to Briggs right after that. That was awesome. We just finished up with Maximus and the Titans. And, well, here we are, the final team of the day, the actual champions last year of the AFC South. And, well, it's time to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a special team that has been... I mean, as a Raider fan, you know, they know a thing or two about being plagued with just a bunch of crap. But these guys actually knew how to get out of it, unlike my Raiders. But these guys right here have quite the team. They started off last year with a, well, actually, before we even do that, I'm all getting on into the thing, man. My apologies, guys. I'm excited, man. We've been on a roll today. So let's go ahead and introduce our guest here today. He is the fourth and final one of the day, and man, he is awesome. He is, of course, the host, pretty cool here. He is the host of the Jaguars Fan Battle podcast. Pretty cool. He's actually a Laker fan like myself, which is pretty awesome. He reps the Braves and the Knowles, and he is actually a huge Jaguars fan. And once again, just all around great dude. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcoming the host of the Jaguars Fan Battle podcast. He is Matthew. What's going on, man? How you doing today, brother?
Oh man, it's a great day to be a Jaguar every day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to be here. I appreciate it.
Hey, you're very welcome, man. Thanks again. Your colleagues, man, they have been a ball to talk to, I'll tell you.
Well, I apologize for anything that they have said because, well, anybody outside of the Jaguars and the AFC South are probably the worst of the worst.
Well, as you can see here, I jumped the gun, man. I was ready to jump in. Wait a minute, I didn't introduce Matthew. My apologies. But yeah, dude, I just, as you can see, I'm excited for this team. There's a lot to be excited about with the Jaguars right now. And there's a lot going down. And some people may say, okay, well, they're going to fall off. Others are saying, it was luck. Others are saying, no, this team's actually legit. Well, I'm glad you're here, Matthew, today to help me out, talk about this team, man, because we are diving right into last year's schedule, a 10-9 overall. They went 4-2 in the AFC South, winning the AFC South, and just we're going to recap last season. What a season it was. Starting off with a very close loss to the Washington Commanders. Game 1 doesn't define anything. Neither does Game 2. But as we roll on, we start to see who's who. And you guys would immediately jump out and just destroy the Colts in game number 2, in week 2. In week 3, you guys would not only beat the Chargers. I get it. They were my Super Bowl pick last year, and I'm a Raider fan, but I'm a realist. So, they were bitten by the injury bug pretty bad. But regardless, you guys destroyed the Chargers in week 3. You tell me how you played the Philadelphia Eagles extremely close with a 29-21 loss. That was so tough. But then I don't understand. A near victory over one of the Super Bowl teams, the NFC champion, if you will. And then the very next week you lose to the Texans. I don't get it. Regardless, after 2 victories straight, you guys would drop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row. And that was to the Eagles, the Texans, the Colts. Colts would come back for you guys in that game, and later on, the Giants would hand you a very close L there, and then in London, the Denver Broncos, that was a very close game, 21-17. You guys would lose. I'm a Raider fan, so beating us isn't the hardest thing in the world, and you didn't. And you did, so congratulations. Regardless, you broke that losing streak, and then you lose to the Chiefs. You guys played both Super Bowl teams this year, and you lost by like a combined score of 10 or 11. Actually a little bit over that, like 15 or 16. But, seriously, it's going to show how strong you guys are. But you guys would lose that game to Kansas City, have a bye week, take out the Baltimore Ravens by 1 point. That was a very good game. Fall to the Detroit Lions, and then you win out. You defeat Tennessee, the Cowboys in a very close overtime game, defeat the Jets, took out the Texans this time around, and then defeat the Titans at the end of the season. And wouldn't you know it, you guys would earn the AFC South title. You would go into the wild card. And, the Chargers that you destroyed earlier in the year, you didn't beat them down this time, but 31-30, still got the victory, and then fizzle out in the AFC divisional round where you guys would lose 27-20, which is crazy because you lost the first game in the regular season 27-17. So very crazy year for you guys, man. But the Jaguars, there's so much reason to believe that there's a lot of promise coming from this team. So I'm going to go ahead and shut up. But Matthew, let's do this, man. Tell me every raw emotion from last year as a Jaguars fan.
So, having been a Jaguars fan since essentially 95, right? Since we've started playing football in Northeast Florida, you kind of just come to expect that the Jaguars suck. Like, it is what it is, right? So we've been to AFC championship game a couple times. We've been let down all 3 times. And so you kind of just get used to losing. No matter how excited you get for a team, look at 2017, right? 2017, we went to the AFC championship game. We were this close to beating the Patriots and making it to the Super Bowl. Miles Jack was not down, and if he wasn't called down, we would have gone to the Super Bowl. That's another story for another day. So following that AFC championship run, The following year, everything went to crap again, right? We went back to our losing ways. So I say that going into this past season, we won, like you said, we lost to the Commanders, which was a weird loss. The Commanders weren't a good team at all. But then we destroyed the Colts and the Chargers. And so, yeah, I got excited. And maybe other Jaguars fans were thinking Super Bowl, but I'm kind of like you, a realist. I didn't get too excited because, well, we're the Jaguars. And there's a popular name amongst the fans. They call us the cardiac cats, right? So we're just kind of used to our heart getting destroyed. And, a lot of fans will point to, well, look at all these losses. Yeah, we went on a 5-game losing streak, but we were so close. But I don't know how many teams across the NFL can say that every year. Well, we were just a couple plays away. And so next season, that'll be the difference. And then we're going to go undefeated and win the Super Bowl. It's any given Sunday in the NFL, as we all know. And there's a reason they say that everyone's talented for the most part, except for some reason the Browns find a way every year to not be talented. But again, another story for another day. I say that also, it still sucked. Like the losses still sucked because that we had some talent. Some might say generational talent in Trevor Lawrence, and then Doug Peterson, of course, a Super Bowl winning coach. And so you think with those two infused together, some of these close losses may have, we should have gotten them. But I think for me, what the worst part is like how we lost them. Like, for instance, the Giants. At the time, the Giants weren't very good early on in the season, and we made Danny Dimes look like Michael Vick out there a couple times, the way that he was running. Come to find out later in the season, the Giants actually were a pretty legit team. But at the time, that hurt bad because it's like, man, the Giants, they aren't good, but they ended up being good. Now, the Broncos, though, that one hurt because the Broncos weren't good at all for the rest of the season. And speaking on the Broncos, sorry, I'm tanging right now. I'm a squirrel moment right now, but
go ahead.
If they get another primetime game, I swear I'll watch the WNBA instead of the NFL. But, so that was a tough loss. Again, I expect us to lose because that's just what the Jaguars do. But it was tough losing to these teams that you felt that you were more talented than. And of course, like you said, beating the Raiders was nice, and I hate to say it, but that kind of help us get back on track. I know we lost to the Chiefs, but man, the Chiefs are just so dang talented. I mean, Patrick Mahomes and that coach, I mean, they're just something else, and they're going to be hard to beat for many years to come. And I know the score was 27-17, but watching that game, the Chiefs were never ever out of it. No, the Chiefs were never going to let us get any closer. Like they just outclassed us. If they wanted to beat us by 40 points, they probably could have, to be honest. That's just the way that I felt it. And speaking on Raiders, sorry, another squirrel moment. I actually like Derek Carr. Is that weird?
I like Derek Carr too. I'm sorry, but a Raider rant here. I hate my team. I hate everything they do. They're a bunch of idiots. Everyone there that runs this is just absolutely stupid. I'm sorry. I can't stand anything they've done. We lost Darren Waller because we're a bunch of idiots. Our coach is a complete idiot. I can't stand him. I mean, should I go on? We're going to lose Josh Jacobs right now because we're stupid. We bring a really old corner on. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Peters, but I mean, don't get me started. I will. Everyone knows me here at iSports Radio. I love my Raiders so much that I'm like almost an anti-fan. Like seriously, like I will rip them apart. They are stupid. Everything they do is stupid. But I cheer them on every single year in hopes that they won't be stupid. Regardless, they usually are, and I just suffer. That's it. End of story.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to open that up.
No, you're good.
Maybe there's some counseling available for you afterwards.
Yeah, I'm also a Laker fan who I can't stand them half the time either. Especially this past season, they completely pissed me off. I'm an LA Galaxy fan. I mean, dude, do I have to go on? I mean, I'm an Angel fan too. We're gonna lose Ohtani. Ooh. I also like the Dodgers, but you know what I mean. I got both, so I mean, I guess I cheer them on. So yeah, man. When it comes to fandom for me, I just can't win.
Wow. No, and speaking on Derek Carr, and I'll bring it back to AFC South related. And as a Jaguars fan, when there was rumors that he was going to be traded or let go or whatever, to be honest, I felt like his personality and the way that he plays on the field fits very well with Tennessee and Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel is a very, knock him out, down in the trenches, just gut out a win. And I feel like that's kind of how Derek Carr is. Like he's going to do everything he can down in the trenches as a quarterback to get the win. And I was like, dang, if you combine that with Mike Vrabel at Tennessee, that's going to be an issue for me as a Jaguars fan. Fortunately, that didn't come to pass. So, but anyways, back to the Jaguars in our season. Yeah, I mean, it was great to be. I feel bad for the Jets because honestly, if it weren't for the Jets being dumb and winning a couple games there in the 2021 season, we wouldn't have been able to get Trevor Lawrence, and we'd be rocking Milson, I guess is what they call him now. So it was kind of tough beating the Jets because I felt like we kind of owed them one for them winning a couple games, allowing us to get T-Law. But anyways, yeah, it was, and the icing on the cake, of course, is to beat the Mayo loving Titans for the last game of the season to get into the playoffs. The winner take all. That was so much fun. It was a little nail biting, I'll be honest, on the edge of my seat, which I didn't want, but it was great to beat the Mayo loving Titans because all season or off season, I can just tell them how much they suck because we swept them. And then I was actually at that Chargers game, the playoff game. Man, it was tough. We had some Chargers fans around us that were drinking some of that happy juice, and so they were pretty annoying throughout the whole game. And then all of a sudden, it all flipped, and well, we all know what happened, and it was the greatest playoff game in the history of the NFL, and I'll fight you for that. I wasn't surprised that we ended up losing to the Chiefs because, like I said earlier, Patrick Mahomes is just something else. He's super special. That whole team is something special, and they're going to be something to worry about for years to come. And so it was just, the season altogether to finish 7-2 in the regular season was just, it felt so good. And to get a couple of those close wins, that felt good. Having a coach that didn't kick your players, that felt even better. And Trevor Lawrence taking that next step in the second half of the season, it was nice to see everything just kind of come together.
That's awesome, brother. And I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we just finished up with that because that right there it explained everything, man. That was a perfect segue going to the off season because you guys had a crazy off season, man. I wouldn't call it like super crazy, but still, man, there were some pretty big pickups, some departures. Shaquille Griffin is now headed over to the Texans. That's gonna be weird seeing him in a Texans uniform. You're also Marvin Jones headed to the Lions. Arden Key, which he was a Raider before him, is now headed on over to the Titans. It's crazy. Chris Manhertz is headed to the Broncos. Jawan Taylor over to the Chiefs. There's a lot of moving pieces. However, there are some big pickups as well. Hey, you guys got a pretty solid kicker. McManus is pretty cool. I like him coming over from the Broncos. What else? I'm just going to go over a few of them. Josh Wells from the Bucks is heading on over to the Jaguars, not moving too far away from Tampa Bay. There's some players here that made their way. Chandler Brewer, left guard, he's come on over from the Rams. Jacob Harris as well, wide receiver from the Rams, heading on over to the Jaguars. There's a lot. Michael Dogby from the Cardinals heading over to the Jaguars. So let me know, man. Talk about some of your biggest pickups, some of your biggest departures. What do you think this year? What were your biggest for both?
Okay, so I'm going to kind of flip that around. I'm a big fan of starting off on the bad and then moving to the good, if you're okay with that.
Absolutely.
So our biggest losses, and people might disagree with me on this one, and I might disagree with myself. Jawan Taylor, losing Jawan Taylor, I think that was big. He wasn't the best right tackle in the NFL, but he was definitely serviceable, obviously starter level caliber, and having somebody, especially right tackle, left tackle, right tackle, that's a super important position, especially if you have somebody like Trevor Lawrence that you're trying to keep upright to get those touchdowns, right? So losing our right tackle, Jawan Taylor, who'd been there for several years, that was kind of big. Now, there was no way we were going to pay him the money that Kansas City paid him. I think it was $80 million. And not only that, they're moving him to left tackle, which is a position he's never played. I want to say he may have played one game at left tackle in college, and that was it. And so, kudos to Jawan Taylor for going to get that bag. I have no ill will towards the guy, but it kind of sucks to, it always sucks to lose a guy who's been starting for your team for several years. So to me personally, that was our biggest loss. But again, kudos to him to get that bag. It'll be an interesting experiment for the Chiefs, although the Chiefs' previous left tackle that he's replacing, I believe they brought him in, and before joining the Chiefs, he was playing right tackle in his previous team as well. So I guess it's an experience that they've mastered, I guess. Our biggest offseason gain, again, these might be, not everybody might agree with this, but I'd say the first one would be Calvin Ridley. Now I know we traded for him during the season, but it really didn't come to fruition until now where he's actually allowed to get on the field. So I think for me, Calvin Ridley. But if you want to include that because of the trade during the season, Evan Ingram, our tight end. Yeah, he played with us last year, but he was going to be an unrestricted free agent. We did put the tag on him, but we all know he didn't want to play on the tag. And what he did for us last year, for those of you who are Jaguars fans, the Jacksonville Jaguars haven't had a legitimate pass-catching tight end in the history of the franchise. We had Mercedes Lewis, he's definitely a good tight end. He most recently played with Aaron Rodgers up in Green Bay and, had a little bit of success up there. But we've never had that kind of threat at tight end where teams would have to game plan against. And Evan Ingram was that for us last year. And the fact that he was a free agent was scary because in the past, the Jaguars have let our talented players go in hopes of being able to replace them with somebody else who eventually never panned out. Now that's the Jaguars of old. Fortunately, the Jaguars were able to figure out a contract with him. I believe it was a 3-year contract. And so now we've got Evan Ingram long-term. And so that'll just help build up that offensive core that we've got. Like you said, we lost Marvin Jones, but I think Calvin Ridley will slide right in pretty good in that spot and perform well. But I'd say Juwan Taylor for the biggest loss and Evan Ingram our biggest gain.
That is awesome, man. I like it. You definitely have a great feel for the free agents this year. I feel like you're very, very aware of, who was who and who did what, or I'm sorry, who was who and who, was your biggest departures, biggest acquisitions. And I really feel like you hit it on the head there, man. Really good stuff. And I like what they did this year. I really did. I like what this team did, and I like the direction they're going in. So let's move on to the draft, man. I mean, when it comes to the draft, you guys really, I liked it. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good draft. So first, in the first round, the 27th pick, you guys would take Anton Harris, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma, because why not? You got Trevor Lawrence a few years in now. He's pretty damn good. He's everything that we thought he would be from Clemson. And why the freak not? Why not get? I mean, gosh, dang it! Every single year, I'm an Apple guy. I can't help it. But it doesn't matter what phone I get or what phone we have. You better believe that when I get a phone, I'm going to get an OtterBox because I need to protect this damn thing. I put too much money into this freaking phone over here in order to break it, okay? And I'm sorry. I'm just a very simple dude who for some reason is very hard on my stuff, and I don't even know how I am. My wife will tell you 1,000,000 times over that I'm hard on my stuff. I'm like, I don't even understand how I'm hard on it. Sometimes I do. But sometimes I don't understand it. But yeah, so if you're going to get something nice and shiny and expensive that's going to really help you, why not protect it? So you got that's a protector right there for sure. He's a huge dude. Awesome player out of Oklahoma. They had a damn good offensive line last year. So bringing him aboard is great. Brenton Strange, tight end out of Penn State. I feel the guy's so underrated. This guy is a very solid tight end. I love what you guys did there, picking him up in the second round. Third round, Tank Bigsby, running back out of Auburn, because why not? Get more guys to carry the rock back there. Honestly, there was a lot, man. Ventrell Miller, linebacker out of Florida. I feel like he went way later than he should have. There was a lot, man. Tyler Lacey, defensive end out of Oklahoma State. There was so many players. But you continue on. Talk about the later round guys if you'd like. But how did you like your guys' draft this year?
Okay, so I'll have to put you at draft night, right? So my initial reaction was like, going into the draft, I was like, dude, Joey Porter Jr., if the guy is available within so I think we were at 20 originally at 24 or something like that. And I was like, if he's anywhere between 18 and 20 still available, I say we trade up and grab him. 18 to 20, he's still there. I'm like, oh my gosh, is Joey Porter going to be available when we go to draft? Holy crap, he is. Oh, wait. Oh, the Jaguars just traded out. Okay. Well, dang, there goes Joey Porter. Wait, what? Joey Porter's still available? They traded again. And so we ended up where we're at and ended up getting Anton Harrison. So I was scratching my head thinking, what the heck? Because we needed cornerback help. That was one of on a super, what I believe to be a very, very talented team across the board. One of our weakest points, I believe, was definitely the defensive side, but cornerback. We definitely need another cornerback, and I thought Joey Porter Jr. would have been fantastic there. But Anton Harrison, I was pretty upset about that pick initially, and I was like, dang. But then after thinking about it, marinating about it, I was still mad about it. And then listening to some draft pundits in the Jaguars network and what they talked about, I said, okay, all right, that makes sense. I'm still mad about it, but it makes sense. Especially with, we have Cam Robinson. I know Cam Robinson is out for the first, I believe, 4 games. And but let's be honest, if you look at his history, the dude is out for injury about 4 to 6 games every single year. So we're just getting that out of the way in the beginning. So this is nothing new for us. But he's in his last year of his contract. So I believe this Anton Harrison, yes, he's a solid offensive lineman, but I think that he's more of we're going to let Robinson walk, and Anton Harrison's going to slide in, and he'll be our left tackle for the future. Give him a year to kind of get up to speed and move forward from there. Britton Strange, I thought there were other players there. Now, I'm no draft pundit at all. I do all the cramming the night before the draft, right? And then before each round to figure things out. But Britton Strange, after looking at him, I was pretty excited with the pick, especially at the time Ingram was still kind of up in the air. So I was thinking maybe we're going to keep the franchise tag on Ingram, let Britton Strange kind of get up to speed, NFL speed for a year, and then let Ingram walk and have a cheap quality tight end. But it looks like we're going to have some depth at tight end for several years to come. So that's exciting to see. Tank Bixby. Now, I was, again, another head scratcher because we had picked up Darnell Johnston in free agency. I was like, well, why the heck are we pick up another running back? And then we had Snoop Connor that we drafted in the 3rd round the previous year. And so it was kind of a logjam. We're like, what the heck is going on? But again, I didn't know much about Tank Bixby. But I guess at Auburn, he killed it, even with a horrible offensive line there. So it was, looking at a running back that was able to perform behind a bad offensive line is pretty cool to see. So, and word out of the Jaguars offices is that they actually are super excited with what Bixby has shown on field, albeit in his underwear. They're very excited with Bixby has to offer for the team. So it sounds like there's a couple people who are on the chopping block, and I think last year's 3rd round pick Snoop Connor is out. Then I think Antonio Johnson was a huge pickup for us. He's a safety cornerback combo out of Texas A&M. We got him in the 5th round. Pro Football Focus had him as the 53rd ranked player. So that was exciting to kind of get a steal in the 5th round. This was a weird draft overall, honestly. Players went before they should have. Players went way after. But I think for our team, 5th round pick, cornerback, he's going to compete for a starting spot. I think we did all right. So I was very excited with what we did in the draft.
I think so too. I'm excited for you guys. There was a lot there. Some of these pickups I feel like are going to be immediate impacts, man. There is a lot to be excited for, and I really, really, really like what Jacksonville's doing. They're in a good direction at the moment. So let's go ahead and continue, man. We just finished up with all that, and we're through the offseason. Let's go ahead and finish it off nice and good with this season. This is crazy, man. We have a pretty solid schedule for you guys. Of course, you're battling the AFC South. Also, in that schedule here, I do see, is it the NFC South, if I'm not mistaken? I see the NFC South in there.
Yep.
And
South versus South.
Yeah, right. South versus South. And then I believe it is the AFC. What is it? AFC South, of course, and the AFC North, if I'm not mistaken, or yeah, I see the North in there. I see the Steelers,
yes.
The Browns, the Bengals. So it's the AFC North and the NFC South, and of course you're taking on the AFC South every year, and you got a couple outlier teams in there. But looking at the schedule right now, man, there's a lot. Houston. They've revamped. They look a lot better. D'Amico Ryans is doing the damn thing. We heard Briggs earlier today talking about how well that he thinks this team is going to do with him, and it's going to be an improvement. And I like what's going on there. We also have a pretty good, Titans team that can't seem to ever get over the hump or out of their own way, especially in the playoffs. But they're still there, and they're still pretty good. And now there's DeAndre Hopkins, D-Hop is in your division, so that's something to look out for. You also got the Colts, who I feel like they are drastically improved with their new quarterback, Anthony Richardson. So I mean, there's a lot that can happen. But I feel like you got all that going on, and then these other teams and these other divisions. I mean, of course, they're growing and doing their thing as well. The AFC, the NFC South. There's a lot to there's some games in there that are winnable, but some that are going to be tougher than others. And then, of course, that AFC North, that's going to be fun, especially with those Bengals, man, that went all the way to the AFC Championship last year. So what do you think? And of course, you guys got the Chiefs in there as well. So that's a pretty tall order, man. So what are your realistic expectations for this year for your Jags?
So I'll say worst case scenario, we're sitting at 11-6. Best case scenario, 14-3. If the Jaguars who we think they are, and they're not the Jaguars of old, they're taking that next step. They're maturing. We're getting another offseason in with pretty much most of the same team. We've added talent, like I said earlier, Calvin Ridley, but we're bringing back the core. So that's another year where the players can look back on what they did and perfect what they've implemented in the previous year. And so if we can do that, we can mature, and players are playing as a team and not like players individually, back like the team that we had in 2017, 2018, like Jalen Ramsey and so on. A lot of those guys were playing for themselves. I think this is a different team. I think there's a different culture there. Everyone is there for the guy to their left and right, right? And so I think we're going to take that next step. We're going to win the games that we're supposed to win and compete in the games that will be competitive. Our division is weak. Let's be honest, man. There's a potential that there's 3 rookie quarterbacks in our 3 division rivals. Anthony Richardson, that guy is probably the biggest boom or bust prospect I've ever seen. The guy's either going to be the best quarterback that's ever played, or he is going to be Jamarcus Russell 2.0, unless he moves to like running back or something. And I'll get more into our AFC South weaklings in the next segment, but yes, our division is weak, so I think we're going to sweep the division. NFC South might be the weakest division in all of football. I think we sweep them. And we do have 2 games back-to-back in England. One of them is technically home, one is technically away, but I think that favors us because the away game is the second game while we're in England, and that's against the Bills, I believe. And the Bills they're going to be tough out. But I think, again, with that second week, we'd already been there for a week. We've got, players are all about routine, right? And so they've had a week to kind of hone in that routine now that they're on the different side of the planet. Whereas the Bills are like, holy crap, what are we doing? What do I do with my hands, right? We're driving on the other side of the road, So I think having that extra week advantage will give us the win over there in England. And I think the schedule's going to be so much fun. The Jaguars haven't had a Monday Night Football game since probably the Stone Age, just because we haven't deserved it. But this year, not only do we have a Monday night game, we're hosting the Monday night game in Jacksonville against the Bengals and Joey Burr, right? That'll be so much fun to watch. Then we host a Sunday night game in Jacksonville against the Baltimore Ravens. How fun is that? And then, of course, we have a Thursday night game in New Orleans, and who doesn't want to have some fun down in New Orleans? Hopefully it's not too much fun for our players, but man, I think it's just going to be so much fun. And then if you look geographically, our traveling, we travel across the pond. And I believe when we get back from England, the very next week, we're playing Thursday against the Saints, but we really don't travel very far. I think our farthest opponent stateside is Pittsburgh. We don't go out west at all. So I think the NFL threw us a bone for once. And so it seems like, some people are starting to believe in the Jaguars outside of us lunatics in Duval. So very, very interesting year. 11 wins or 14 wins is where I'm at.
That says a lot, man. I really think this team they're strong. They're a strong team. They have lots and lots and lots of, there's lots of talent there, and there's so much to build off of. So, well, I love it because you basically give the best segue you can possibly give, man. And, well, that is going right on in to stick it to them. Man, Josh earlier, whoa, he set the league on fire, or the division on fire, man. Coming up first earlier today. Then Briggs really let everybody know how he feels. Both those guys so far were awesome. And then Maximus doing his thing as well. Everyone had some smack to talk. And I'm sure, you guys do Fan Battle. I'm just saying, it's Fan Battle website. You guys are awesome. There's so much between these teams and the rivalry. And I just love what you guys got going as well, with Fan Battle. So I'm sure this is the first time we did this. So here we go, man. Stick it to them. tell us how you think those other 3 teams in your division are going to do this year. And, well, it's okay. I mean, don't take it too crazy, but hey, it's okay to tell us how you really feel about those other 3 teams. So, Matthew, without further ado, good sir, stick it to them.
All right, so we'll start off with the Colts. The Colts, to be fair, they're always like they've always have the players, they have the personnel. But for some reason, something happens, and it's typically the injury bug. But I'll say, and then it didn't help this past couple years. They've had a 60-year-old running quarterback there, and so the Colts. I think this year they'll take a huge step backwards, especially if they're starting Anthony Richardson. Again, I watched a lot of Anthony Richardson in college, and if you're banking on this super immature quarterback to lead your team to the Super Bowl, especially your first year, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. The guy, again, I watched a lot of his games. I'm a huge Florida State fan, so I try to watch as many Gator games where they lose as possible because it just brings so much joy to my heart. So watching him play, the guy just can't. He's just not it. He's not a leader, especially when you come into the NFL. Being a quarterback, you have to be a leader of men, and he just doesn't have it mentally. Does he have the physical skills? Probably, but you got to put 2 of those together. And if you're going to depend on that, Colts fans, I'm sorry, but you're going to lose, and you're going to lose a lot. Now, if you put the stash, Gardner Minshew, now it's going to be tough, man. Minshew Mania was real. If you were in Duval during Minshew Mania, it was real. And there's still a piece of Minshew and all of us still left. So if he starts, I do hope that they go just a little under 500. But the Colts, I don't have a whole lot of beef with them because Peyton Manning owned us for so many years. And they're the only ones with a Super Bowl ring. So, Colts are all right, but they're still going to lose a lot of games. The next man up, I'd say the Texans. No, yeah, the Texans, because I hate the Titans so much. They're the worst, right? The Texans. Oh my gosh, I am so tired of hearing Texans fans talk about, oh man, look, we got this new coach, we got all these new players, and we got all this new stuff. Man, we're going to be so good. Listen, come here, close, come here. We've been there. We've been there for decades. The hope that comes in the offseason fizzles so fast, especially when you're infusing a rookie quarterback into your team. It's just not going to work. And I'm just so tired of hearing them say, well, we're going to win, we're going to compete for the division. Yeah, maybe if we were, in Division 2 NCAA women's football, maybe, but the Texans are going to be in for such a rude awakening. And you know what? I'm here for it. I am here for it. Those tears, I've got my cup ready, Texans fans. When they're crying, talking about, oh, but we had such a good team. We drafted so good and all these free agents. Blah, 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 blah. Listen, if you win the offseason, you're going to lose the regular season. It just is what it is. When you win, you have a quiet offseason. It just is what it is. Did you hear a lot about the Chiefs? I mean, you hear a lot about their contract for their defensive lineman right now, but you didn't hear a lot about them, right? No? Super Bowl champs? No. You've heard a lot about the Texans. Why? Because they suck. And they have so many holes, and they still have a lot of holes to fill and a lot of growing up to do. So, sorry, Texans fans. You're going to suck. And then now to my most hated Titans. Man, if there's one thing in this world I hate the most, and that would be the Titans. They are the scum of the NFL. I'm sorry. Am I allowed to say that?
By all means, man.
I already said it. Sorry, it's too late. I guess you can edit it out. But, man, the Titans. Y'all. Oh. I just can't. The Titans, listen, y'all think by bringing D-Hop to your team, all of a sudden is going to win you the division? You guys think you were a wide receiver away from winning the division? A wide receiver away? Come on, man. Come on. You guys if you guys were one wide receiver away, why'd you let A.J. Brown go? Huh? Why'd you guys let A.J. Brown go? Even when you had A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry was several years younger, did you win it? No. And so, I was about to say Marcus Mariota. Man, I miss that guy.
Yeah.
Tannehill. The only thing that Tannehill is good at is handing the ball off to Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry, listen, the guy's from Northeast Florida, so I'm a fan of him that way. But the guy's getting old. He can only run so many miles in a game. and you guys have been running him to the ground. And so I think this is the year that his production goes down. Yeah, D-Hop is there, but all you got to do is put 2 guys on him, and then what are you going to do? Hand the ball off to Derrick Henry, and how did that go for you last year? Plus your quarterback that you drafted last year all of a sudden is starting to perform better than your quarterback that you drafted this year. What's going on over there? Did you guys even know what's going on? I don't know, man. But you other 3 teams, you're delusional if you think you're going to win the division. The Jaguars have a generational quarterback. We have a Super Bowl winning coach. We won the division last year, and we only got better. It's our divisions for the next 10 years plus. Super Bowl champs 2023. Let's go.
I just hit the applause button, good sir. That was Matthew. Whoa. Like, way to destroy everybody. But, man, that's what that segment was for. That was awesome and great trash talking, man. Awesome stuff. Dude, that was great. It was an honor having you on the show, man. Please, by all means, plug anything you wish, your website, your show, where they can follow you, where all these Jags fans, Duval, can find you.
Duval.
Let us all know, man.
All right, so as much as I hate on my divisional foes, I'm part of a fantastic network. We're called the Fan Battle Sports. You can find us at fanbattlesports.com, and there you're going to find all sorts of content from each team. Each team, we have a dedicated team that does a podcast each week for each team. And then we have a main podcast each week that we do where we have commentators from each team come on, and we just kind of talk about the week that was for the division. It's a whole lot of fun. We banter back and forth, but we're all just a bunch of really good friends hating on each other's teams. It's a lot of fun. So, again, fanbattlesports.com. You can find some articles that I've written on there as well. And then on Twitter, you can find me personally at Matthew G Sports. And then I am one of the co-hosts for the Jaguars Fan Battle podcast. You can find us on Twitter, Jaguars Fan Battle. A lot of really fun content going out there. And I kind of want to plug my buddy Cody. He's my co-host on the podcast. He actually yesterday, the arena football team for Jacksonville, with Twitter changing to X or whatever it is, a lot of organizations were saying, hey, we're going to change our header because, Twitter did. And so the arena football team, the Jacksonville Sharks, put out a contest saying, hey, we're going to change our header. The best one wins. And my buddy, actually, the co-host Cody, submitted his and they picked his. And so it's now the Jacksonville Sharks header on Twitter. Go check it out. It's really cool.
Oh, that's pretty neat. Well, hey, man, thanks again for everything, for being here today. You certainly made the show that much better, brother. Way to end it off and way to finish off AFC South Day. That was a lot of fun, and thanks again, man. Look forward to having you back on the show very soon. And, yeah, man, have you a great evening, and we appreciate all of your time here today.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, brother. Take care. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is that, man. What a dude, man. That was pretty cool. Matthew is a great guy, and we are all done with the AFC South. Just finished up with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and, well, that is that. When we return, we're going to go ahead and give my final weigh in on what I think of the AFC South this year, who's going to win it, and who's going to be where, at least it's my opinion. So, you are listening to 3 and Out, 8 Divisions in 8 Days, day number 3 of AFC Weekend, day number 3 overall. Just finishing up the AFC South, and, well, we're going to come on back with my final weigh-in. This is me, your boy Larry B. You're listening to 3 and Out, and when we come back, it's final weigh-in time right after this.
All right. Welcome to AZ Sports Daily. I'm your host, Kiernan Daly, bringing the heat to Arizona sports. There's no discrimination here. We're going to talk about every sports team, professional and college. The show is all about you, the listener. I'm here to entertain you. Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here? It's going to be fun, high energy. You may not agree with what I say. That's okay. Let me hear you. Let's talk about it. Join me every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on AZ Sports Daily. That's AZ Sports, DALEY, and at IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, sports fans? You're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your favorite West Coast Wisconsinite, Bernie Bango, and if you're a cheesehead, come listen to my show, Big Cheese Sports, where we road trip around America's Dairyland, previewing, reviewing, predicting, debating, and digging into all that is Wisconsin sports at the college and pro levels. Join me on IE Sports Radio, Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard. Bernie out.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey there, sports fans. Are you looking for a sports show that maybe isn't 100% about sports?
Then you might want to check out the Sports Couple Perspectives right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Most sports shows cover only scores and stats, and while we're not opposed to that, we dig a little deeper into sports issues and some of the hottest topics in athletics.
In addition to sports, we take a journey through my neck of the woods, pop culture, with movie reviews of both sports and non-sports films.
Speaking of pop culture, make sure to participate in our game nights, where we quiz each other on our specialties, and you, the listeners, can win IE Sports Radio apparel.
We always have a great time learning more about each other's worlds, one show at a time.
So join us each week on the Sports Couple Perspectives, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy, Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy, awesome white tea. We are coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome back. My goodness, that was so much fun. I just want to give one more huge shout out to Fan Battle Sports, guys. Sorry, but these guys are awesome. These guys were super cool, and once again, just a huge ups and thank you to them. All four of them, one more time, representing the Colts. We had Josh Sr., we had, representing the Houston Texans, we had Matthew Briggs. Representing the Tennessee Titans, we had Maximus. And representing the Jaguars right now, we just had Matthew. Really cool guy. These guys were, all four of them were amazing and gave us a really good show. So I hope you really enjoyed it, because I did. I enjoyed it not only doing the interviews, but even just listening right now. These guys can go on, and I love their fandom. So, alrighty, so let's go ahead and jump on to my final weigh-in of the AFC South for this year. As I always say, it's one of those things where it could be either, it could be pretty accurate, it could be way off. It's just an opinion, just like yours, is what it is, but I love to do it, and it's a lot of fun. So, okay, let's go ahead and jump on into the poll real quick, because I know I didn't mention it again at the beginning of the show, but if you guys saw earlier on our Twitter for the show, it is at 3 and out, all spelled out, 3 and out, IESR. I think we have a few seconds left here, but really won't count for much, because I'm going to go ahead and read the voting poll off right now. Alrighty, so there's only like 8 minutes left, so I'm going to go ahead and just read it as it is right now. So 50% of you overwhelmingly took the Jacksonville Jaguars to win this year's AFC South, to repeat, to do it again, and it's hard to argue with that. So let's continue on, though, and see what else you guys put here. So 25% of you say it's going to be the Tennessee Titans. 14% of you say it's going to be the Indianapolis Colts. And 11% of you are saying it's going to be the Houston Texans. Now, I get it. Fans are fans. We're going to vote for our teams, right? Even I put the Raiders, just because I'm not going to not pick my Raiders. I'm a realist, but I love my team. And, is what it is. But just like in the chat room, man, big ups to our boy Matthew, man, Matthew Grieve. He says, Duval! Yeah, man. It's hard to disagree with that. So I'm going to get into my final say. Once again, thank you to everybody who voted on that voting poll. And, going off of that voting poll, looks like you guys have Jacksonville first. Second would be the Tennessee Titans. And third would be the Colts. And fourth would be the Texans. Okay, now here's my thing. And this is my reasoning for my particular order. I'm really close to this poll here, except for my bottom two teams that switched around. So, just like on Monday, not going to beat around the bush. The Chiefs, I'm almost positive, are going to win this division this year. Just like yesterday, I'm almost positive the Buffalo Bills are going to win the AFC East, and they are also my Super Bowl pick this year. This year, in the AFC South, though I feel like it's a lot closer. Okay, the Chiefs, it's like 100% for me that they're going to win that division. Or like 99%, okay? The same exact thing with the Bills. This division, I'm like 80% that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win. Okay, yes, I'm taking the Jaguars because they're special. There's a lot going on there. They have Trevor Lawrence. This guy is just blooming, man. He is getting it done, and you give him more weapons. They had a good draft. I mean, you heard everything Matthew said. This team is very strong, and I really do feel that this team is going to repeat. Okay, why do I have the Tennessee Titans second place? Because they're annoying, guys. Big shots, Maximus, he's awesome, and I love it. He's a huge believer in his team, and I do believe that this team has everything. I mean, a couple years ago, man, there's no way I could pick anybody else but the Titans. And right now, it's just, I'm telling you, after a couple of years of them just getting to the first round and fizzling out, and just, I'm a huge Vrabel fan. I'm going to keep on saying that, but it's just, it's hard to believe in this team right now when they just have continually let down. I don't know. I mean, D-Hop is going to be huge, but they need more. The defense is stout, but they just need more. Willis, why not start him? He's more mobile than Tannehill. I think, like I told you before, they added the offensive line. You need offensive line. You need to protect your quarterback because you need him to get the ball to D-Hop. All right? So that's a good start. But if you got a guy that can run around back there, I don't know. I think Willis would be, I don't know. They have to play around with that. Tannehill's not like he's not mobile, but they got some question marks over there in Tennessee. So I am certainly, without a doubt, going to say that Tennessee is a strong second place. And as I said this year too, I'm not giving records. I know last year I was giving records and ranges and everything. And once again, that's all it's just extra time that you spend really. When you talk about first, second, third, fourth, you already know what the records might possibly be. I may throw some numbers around in there, but overall, the Jaguars, they have a pretty good ceiling. Right now, I don't think they're going to, I don't think they're going to be number one seed or anything, but I do think that they are going to be they are, as Matthew says here in the chat room, Jags are clearly number one. There's no way that they're not number one. This is a very good football team right now compared to the rest of the AFC South, and I just don't see the Jaguars not winning this division. Once again, the Tennessee Titans are good. Okay, they're good, but how good are they really? And especially when they face off with the Jaguars, I mean, if they can't win both of those games, it's going to be really hard to win this whole division. So I think they might go 1-1. Jags might even sweep them. We need to see what this Titans team is really made of, and let's see what Vrabel's got this year. Okay, now flipping around from the voting poll here, and it's funny because Taryn had the same exact order earlier on when he was here in the chat, but okay. I really, really, really want to be able to put the Texans in third. And why am I doing this? After talking to Matthew Briggs, okay, it is really, really, really crazy how well this team can improve under DeMeco Ryans. And I like their draft. I'm telling you, I think they went all in. Earlier, it's funny, Matthew Grieve and here, Matthew G, in the chat earlier said, like, made a comment on the Houston Texans, like, spending, going all out and even jeopardizing their future. Well, what I got to say to that is good. I mean, they're doing something, and if it pays off, it pays off, and if not, it is what it's a gamble. I mean, there's more football left. There's more years, and they gotta take their shots where they can get them. I'm a Raider fan. We don't do anything but get rid of our good players. You know what I mean? So it's annoying. And there's other teams out there that are just like that. Not just the Raiders. And I referred to that in the chat room as that meme where that kid is poking the logo with a stick. Come on, do something. So at least the Texans are doing something. They may be taking gambles. But I don't know. I thought they won the draft, man. I mean, aside from the Eagles, this is a very good football team. Well, no, sorry. It was a very good draft for a football team that can be very good coming up. But are they going to be great this year? Are they going to be even good? Are they going to be decent? I'm not going to go that far. I think they're going to take their licks. They got to gel. They got to get this whole new regime underway. But look, they're on the right track, and that's good. Now, why am I putting the Colts in the basement? This is hard. I mean, it's not going to be much of a difference, guys. It's really not. I mean, I'm talking about, like, the Colts win 5 or 6 games, and the Texans win 6 or 7. I mean, it's not like it's really far away from each other. It may even come down to those games that play against each other. Neither of these teams I don't think are going to do very good, in be these world beater monster teams because of one off season. And, look, I like the pickup here. Anthony Richardson, I know in the chat, Bishop and Matthew going back and forth, Matthew G. But, look, he's a solid player. He is a project. There's a reason why they picked him so high. And, he's going to ball. He's going to do his thing. But he needs the rest of the team, too. And that's kind of tough, especially as a rookie quarterback when the rest of the team just isn't there. Now, the defense is decent. They need some more pieces on offense. You heard earlier Josh talking about, they've become a little bit better. But even he said it. Like, they're not going to win very many games. They're going to be better than last year. And that's all you can hope for, right? So, I really feel like if I got to, put records in there or something, because this is kind of closer than I feel like the other two divisions that we already covered were. The Jaguars, they'll win about 12. I think they could win 11 or 12. They look good, We have the Titans that are somewhere in the neighborhood of 9 or 10, depending, maybe 11, but that's a little high. There's somewhere in that area. Then you got the other two that are like between the ranges of 5 to 7 wins apiece, And I'm just going to go with the Texans ahead of the Colts in that. And I think it's fair, and it's a lot. It's a lot to have to wrap your head around when you think of these 4 teams and how much fluctuation there was a couple of years ago. I mean, it's crazy. The Jags, man, this team was just in the AFC Championship a couple of years ago. You heard Matthew, and it's crazy. They haven't really done much since, and they have their sparks every now and then. The Titans can't get out of their own way sometimes. The Texans, man, I remember when they really had something going, but this was years back, and they haven't returned to that. And then I think they still haven't gotten to the second round of the playoffs, I believe. They still haven't gone to the divisional round or gone past the divisional round. And the Colts, I mean, there's a lot to fix there. I mean, we haven't seen the Colts be the Colts really since Manning, So it's fair to say that I think that's how they're going to dice up this year. And let's see here. Matthew Grieve, once again, I want to talk about what he says. So, really quick in the chat room, Bishop says, Colts have firepower. They just need a quarterback, and now they have one. And they do. And I get that. But they I don't know. They have a talented team. I just don't know if... I don't know. It's hard. I just can't see this team being I don't know, really, 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 like a competitor, at least in the division. Matthew says here, Jags are clearly number 1. The Colts always have a decent team, but Vrabel is an impactful coach, so the 2 spot is going to be interesting. The Texans are bad. And then Bishop says, remember, this is recorded, so receipts are saved. Colts aren't to be taken lightly in that division, in my opinion. And that's great, man. See, we all got our opinions. I guess, from what I saw last year, I mean, I'm that dude that sits around all day long watching Sunday Ticket. I mean, there used to be 256. Now the extra week, I don't know, what is there, like, another, I can't, it's like 270 now or whatever it is, or sorry, somewhere right on there. But out of all those games, man, I watched damn near all of them. And that's not saying anything that I know more than anybody else or whatever, but I'm just saying, from what I've seen, from how I feel about this team right now, those are just my thoughts and opinions. It sounds like the Colts have something good going on over there, and this whole thing could be completely wrong. For all we know, the Colts and the Texans could be fighting for number 1 this year, and the Jags and the Titans will be on the bottom. I mean, we've seen crazier things, right? But coming back to planet Earth, at least, in my thoughts, I really feel that the Jaguars are going to finish out, number 1. Then it's going to be the Titans. Then it's going to be the Texans by a hair and the Colts. But it'll be close on the bottom there. And it might be close on the top, depending. So, anyway, guys, man, another great show in the books. Well, there's only one thing left to do, and that's cue that music, because we're out of here. All right, y'all, that's going to do it. Day number 3 of 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days has concluded. Big shout out, y'all, to Fan Battle. Sorry about that, I'm over here playing around with the mute button. But once again, big shout out and thank you to FanBattleSports.com. Please check them out. These guys are freaking awesome. They saved this show, man. I didn't know I was looking to try to find more people for the AFC South, but they did it. And FanBattleSports.com, once again, man, they are just great people. Big shout out and thank you once again to Matthew Briggs, Josh Sr., Matthew Grieve, and of course Maximus. Check out all their shows. You heard all their plugs. Check them out. Big ups to everybody in the chat room, man. It's been a fun chat room all day. Matthew Grieve, Bishop, Taryn. We had more people in the chat room earlier, but thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you so very much. And this is just a fun deal we got going on here. 3 days in, y'all. Tomorrow we're going to finish up AFC week with the AFC North. Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun. We're talking Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, and Browns. Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun to get into. We got some new guests in there. We got some old guests. We got some show hosts. We got some fun stuff, guys. So that's going to be a good one tomorrow. We're going to finish that off. And then next week, NFC week. Remember, Monday, July 31st is the NFC West. Tuesday, August 1st is going to be the NFC East. Then it's on to Wednesday, August 2nd, the NFC South, and then we're going to finish off on Thursday, August 3rd with the NFC North, and that's going to lead right into the Hall of Fame game between the Jets and the Browns. So, anyway, guys, give us a follow all over the place, IE Sports Radio, Twitter, or X, I guess now, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, IESportsRadio.com. Use promo code IESR Summer Sale 23 to get 10% off until August 5th of all of our merchandise we got there on the website. And let's just keep doing what we do. Give the show a follow at 3 and Out IESR, all spelled out 3 and Out IESR. Give me or Bro Larry a follow at THEE_LB53. And well, that is going to do it, you guys. It's been a great one, as I always say. Big ups to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, nothing is possible. Without all you guys, IE Sports Radio is possible. So thank you all so very much. And that's going to do it, y'all. Full speed ahead. We are rolling into the AFC North tomorrow. We'll see y'all then. Until then, take care. And as always, God bless.